Jiang Chen dragged his tired body out of the company building. It was already dark, and the neon lights in the city center flashed like blood, reflecting his pale and ordinary face. He is 25 years old, works overtime until late at night every day, earns a monthly salary of 5,000 yuan, and does not even have a girlfriend. Just now, his boss fattily mocked him in public. "Jiang Chen, you are a loser, your proposal is so bad, and you still want to be promoted? Go home and go to bed." The colleagues burst into laughter, and someone whispered in agreement, "That's right, a loser will always be a loser, why are you pretending to be an elite?" He gritted his teeth, clenched his fists until they turned white, and felt an unknown fire burning in his heart. While passing by the city center square, he suddenly felt dizzy, probably due to hunger and fatigue. His foot slipped and he stepped on the edge of a manhole cover that had been forgotten by the construction. With a bang, the whole person fell into darkness. The scream suddenly stopped in his throat, surrounded by cold moisture and the smell of decaying earth. He fell on the hard stone slab, feeling severe pain all over his body. He groped his way up, only to find that this was not a sewer, but a deep underground passage. The mobile phone light flashed, illuminating the surroundings. The moss-covered stone wall was covered with ancient runes, faintly emitting a blue aura. There was a strange fragrance in the air, which made his chest feel tight, as if something was stirring inside him. "What the hell is this place?" Jiang Chen muttered to himself, his heart beating faster. "Why is there such an ancient cave in the city center? It was never mentioned in the news." He tried to climb back, but found that the entrance was sealed, leaving only endless passages extending forward. Despair surged like a tide, and he imagined himself being buried alive. His legs became weak and he collapsed on the ground. "It's over, God, is this the end of my life, Jiang Chen? My life is so miserable, even death." At this moment, a roar came from deep in the passage, and a dazzling blue light burst out. Jiang Chen was pushed down by the air wave, his eyes blurred, and he rolled into a huge underground cave. In the center of the cave, an ancient stone platform is suspended. There are mountains of crystal stones on the platform, exuding rich spiritual energy. Each one is as big as a fist, and contains brilliance, spiritual stones. Billions of spiritual stones. His eyes widened, and there was a shock in his mind, and a flood of ancient memories poured out, bloodline awakening. Our ancestors belong to the Hidden Immortal clan, and the ancient bloodline that has been dormant for thousands of years is resurrected here. Spiritual energy rushed into his meridians crazily, and his body felt like it was being burned by fire. His muscles and bones were broken and reorganized every inch, and he was in agony. He curled up on the ground, sweating like rain, and roared like a beast, "Ah, it hurts, I'm going to die." Time seemed to stand still, the spiritual energy in the cave swirled like a tornado, the spiritual stones on the stone platform shone brightly, and billions of rays of light penetrated into his body. Jiang Chen's skin glowed with golden light, his meridians widened 10 times, and a brilliant golden elixir condensed in his Dantian, foundation establishment realm. The cultivation level skyrocketed. Not only that, a golden jade slip flew out from the stone platform and blended into his eyebrows, the secret method of dual cultivation. This is the supreme secret technique of the Ancient Immortal sect. It requires sincerity to resonate with spiritual energy, get twice the result with half the effort, and break through bottlenecks as easily as drinking water. After the pain subsided, Jiang Chen stood up suddenly, and spiritual pressure poured out from his whole body like a mountain. With a wave of his hand, a piece of spiritual stone turned into powder, and all the spiritual energy was sucked into his body, filling his limbs and bones with power. Is this cultivation of immortality? Billions of spiritual stones, I'm suddenly rich. He laughed, with crazy joy flashing in his eyes. Mortals are like ants, and worldly dignitaries are nothing but dust in his eyes. From now on, I am the only one in heaven and on earth. Just as he reached out to count the spiritual stones, a cold light flashed at the entrance of the cave, and a figure swept in like a ghost. The visitor was dressed in black robes, his face was as cold as a knife, his features were handsome, and his brows showed natural arrogance. It was Gu Han, a cold genius recognized in the world of immortality, who was detecting changes in spiritual energy in the urban area. Gu Han's eyes were like lightning, locked on Jiang Chen, and his voice was as low as ice. "Boy, I sense the ruins of the ancient cave first. Hand over the spirit stone and spare your life." With his cultivation in the middle stage of foundation building, he thought he could easily crush him, but his expression suddenly changed. The spiritual pressure of the mortal boy in front of him was on par with him. The breath of billions of spirit stones hit his face, causing his pupils to shrink suddenly. Jiang Chen turned around and smiled faintly. "Elixir? It's mine. Who are you?" Gu Hanin snorted and pulled out a cold light sword. The sword energy poured out like frost and snow, piercing Jiang Chen's heart. Jiang Chen didn't dodge, he grabbed it with one hand, turned his spiritual energy into his palm, and crushed the sword light with force. Boom! The cave trembled and stone debris flew. Gu Han took 3 steps back. The tiger's mouth was cracked and dripping with blood. His eyes widened and his voice trembled. "You, in the early stage of foundation building? You were still a mortal just now. Impossible. This spiritual stone storage is worth billions." Jiang Chen stood with his hands behind his hands and said contemptuously, "Those who are destined to get the ancient cave can get it. You are a genius, but you are nothing." With a snap of his fingers, the spiritual stones fell like rain and piled up into a mountain. Gu Han was stunned, his throat rolled, and his eyes turned from hostility to shock and greed. This is the ancient cave. Billions of top-grade spiritual stones are enough to drive the old monster of Jindan crazy. How did you count them so fast? Jiang Chen laughed. "It's just that the bloodline has awakened. I can't eliminate these spiritual stones alone, so why not join forces? The world of immortal cultivation is full of dangers, spiritual energy is resurrected, and ancient cultivation ruins are reappearing. You can't destroy yourself by swallowing it alone." He threw out a storage ring, and thousands of spiritual stones inside flew out. Gu Han caught it, and the spiritual energy entered his body, and his cultivation level was faintly loose. His face turned pale and he murmured, "You are extremely talented. I, Gu Han, have been traveling in the world of immortality for 10 years and have never seen such bloodline before. Okay, I'll hang out with you. From now on, brothers are of the same mind." The two quickly counted and found that all the billions of spiritual stones were put into the storage ring. The spiritual energy of the cave surged, and clouds surged faintly over the city. Jiang Chen mastered the secret method of dual cultivation, and knew that he needed to find a true partner in order to achieve success. He patted Gu Han on the shoulder. "Let's go back to the city. The world is like a dream. We, the Hidden Immortals, should keep a low profile." Gu Han nodded, with a strong look of admiration in his eyes. "Brother Jiang, even I am convinced by your momentum. Those rich second-generation mortals and powerful people are like ants in front of you." Jiang Chen hid his aura, nourished by the spirit stone, and his figure was like the wind. He sprang out from another exit. It was already early morning. He put on old clothes, blended into the crowd at morning peak, and returned to the rental house near the company. Reflected in the mirror, his facial features were more handsome, his temperament was like that of a reclusive prince, and his eyes were as deep as the sea of stars. The invincible potential brought by the wealth of spiritual stones made him sneer, fatly. "Colleagues, your ridicule is about to turn into fear." Opening the company door, the morning meeting has already begun. Fatty Li was sitting in the main seat, his plump body swaying. When he saw Jiang Chen come in, he narrowed his eyes and laughed mockingly. "Hey, Uncle Jiang Chen is here. Are you tired from working overtime last night? Look at your pretentiousness, wrinkled suit, and posture of being a master. Go to the tea room and pour water. Otherwise, your full attendance will be deducted." All the colleagues in the room snickered. and someone whispered, "Why are you pretending to be cool? You still want to turn around?" A female colleague rolled her eyes at him. "Change. It's not worth turning into ashes." Jiang Chen stepped forward slowly, a cold light flashed in his eyes. Gu Han watched in the dark, knowing that something good was going on. He chuckled, "Mr. Li, do you want to deduct perfect attendance?" "Oh, do you deserve it?" Fatty Li's face was livid. He slapped the table and stood up. "What did you say?" "I turned against you. Security guard, drag me out." The whole place was in an uproar, everyone's eyes widened, waiting to see Jiang Chen being humiliated. More than 40 colleagues in the conference room stared at this scene. Some people snickered. A male colleague wearing glasses pushed the bridge of his nose and said in a sinister tone, "Jiang Chen, are you addicted to pretending to be cool? Be careful that the security guard will punch your newly shaved beard away." Xiaoli, a female colleague next to her, covered her mouth and smiled coquettishly. He glanced at Fatty Li and said, "Mr. Li, don't waste your time with this kind of person. He can't even pay the rent and still wants to be promoted. Dream on." The whole audience burst into laughter, and the air was filled with the sour smell of ridicule. Some people even picked up their mobile phones to record the video, waiting to see the embarrassing look of Jiang Chen kneeling down to beg for mercy. Jiang Chen stood there, with his old suit rumpled and his hair a little messy. He really looked like a down-and-out loser. In the eyes of everyone, he was the ant who would always be stepped on. After hearing the news, 2 burly security guards rushed into the conference room, their leather boots thumping on the floor tiles. Their faces had the usual ferocity on their faces, and the muscles in their arms bulged, as if they wanted to throw Jiang Chen over his shoulder on the spot. Fatty Li pointed at Jiang Chen, his fat face flushed red, and spittle sprayed out. "Quick! Drag this ungrateful trash out and throw it on the street to feed the dogs. Who gave him the courage to talk back to me? Jiang Chen, do you think you can turn around if you work a few more hours of overtime last night? A Diaosi is a Diaosi, and he will always be inferior to others." The security guard approached, reaching out to grab Jiang Chen's arms from left to right, and the rough palm blows came to his face with the smell of sweat. Jiang Chen remained motionless, a hint of disdain flashed deep in his eyes. He sneered in his heart, "These mortals think they can dominate everything when they have the power. Billions of spiritual stones have been put into the bag, and the ancient bloodline has awakened. Why should I, Jiang Chen, tolerate you?" But he is not in a hurry to explode and keeps a low profile, which is the way to cultivate immortality and hide from the world. First make them laugh, let them hit rock bottom, and then crush their pride. Seeing that the security guard's hand was about to grab Jiang Chen's shoulder, Fatty Li put his hands on his hips and laughed, "Look. This is the end, Jiang Chen, you are finished." In this room of lightning and flint, Jiang Chen slowly raised his head, and the spiritual pressure from the initial stage of foundation building poured out like an invisible mountain. It wasn't a violent outburst, but a pressure as thin as a thread that seeped into the bone marrow. The air in the conference room suddenly became stagnant, as if time was frozen. The security guards' movements froze in mid-air. Their faces instantly turned pale, their knees went weak, and they fell to their knees with a bang. Cold sweat poured down their foreheads, and they let out a trembling growl. What does this feel like? My legs can't move. It's so heavy, like being pressed by a mountain." The whole place was dead silent. The eyes of the colleagues who were still laughing just now were as wide as bells. The coffee cup in someone's hand fell to the ground with a clatter, but the red-hot fingers were completely unaware. Xiaoli's smile froze on her face, her delicate body trembled, and her teeth chattered. Jiang Chen. What's wrong with you? This aura, impossible." The male colleague wearing glasses took a step back, knocked over the chair, and said in a sharp voice, "Hallucination. It must be a hallucination. He took the wrong medicine last night." Fatty Li's plump body swayed, and his back was instantly soaked. His eyes widened and his fat lips trembled. "Jiang Chen. What magic did you use? Security. Get up. Get up and beat him. But the security guards were paralyzed, unable to even lift their fingers, and their eyes were full of fear and disbelief. Jiang Chen stood with his hands behind his hands, his handsome face showing the aura of a prince in the morning light. He glanced at the whole place with disdain, and his voice was plain but as loud as thunder. Mr. Li, take full attendance. Are you worthy? From now on, you don't have any say in this company. With a tap of his fingers, Fatty Li's tie automatically moved without wind. The sweat on his fat face rolled down like beads, and his chest felt like being hit by a giant hammer, making him breathless. The spiritual pressure is just in case, but it makes this mortal nobleman feel like he fell into an ice cave. Jiang Chen knew in his heart that this was just a small test. Nourished by billions of spiritual stones, his foundation had already touched the threshold of the golden elixir. The world was like dust and could be destroyed with a single thought. Gu Han was hidden in the shadows of the corridor outside the conference room, his black robe concealing his aura, and a hint of excitement appeared on his stern face. He flicked his fingers, and an invisible spiritual thread quietly wrapped around the security guard's ankle, escorting Brother Jiang. Brothers are of the same mind, this slap in the face will definitely shock the whole audience. Outside the conference room, Gu Han raised the corner of his mouth slightly and murmured to himself, Brother Jiang's pressure is so overwhelming that even my heart is palpitating in the middle of foundation building. These mortals, haha, anti-ears. He quietly removed the spiritual power thread, the security guards collapsed on the ground, and everyone's reaction erupted like a tide. Yes, people screamed, some backed away, and some murmured, he has changed, Jiang Chen has turned into a monster. Xiaoli's legs became weak and she slumped on the chair. Her eyes turned from contempt to admiration and fear intertwined. Oh my God, that look in his eyes is so scary, but so handsome. Fatty Li finally couldn't hold on any longer, his fat body swayed, and he fell down to sit on the throne. His voice trembled like chaff, Jiang, General Manager Jiang. Tell me, what should you do? I was wrong, I totally obeyed you. The whole audience gasped. This snobbish boss actually lowered his head on his own initiative. Jiang Chen, who used to be a loser, turned around, and his status was reversed like a natural chasm. Colleagues looked at each other, and some people exclaimed in a low voice, it's impossible, how did he do it? Last night he was useless, but today he is, amazing. Outside the company building, a luxurious black Bentley was parked on the side of the road. The window rolled down, revealing a young and handsome face. It was Lu Zhe, a well-known second-generation rich man in the city who held equity in several listed companies. He frowned slightly. He had just sensed the strange movement of spiritual pressure in the car, the spiritual energy was revived. His family was secretly involved in cultivating immortals, specializing in providing logistics for the reclusive monks. Lu Zhe's eyes flashed, this aura, the peak of foundation building. There is such a hidden immortal in the company in the city center. He opened the door and got out of the car, met Jiang Chen, and said with cupped hands, are you Brother Jiang? I'm here, Lu Zhe, because I feel your spiritual pressure, and I came here to visit you. The world of immortals is hidden in the world, and the world is dangerous. The aftermath of the ancient cave has attracted enemy cultivators to spy. Why don't you move to our house and provide a mansion to hide the spiritual stones? My family is protected by the formation, so it is absolutely safe. Jiang Chen snorted coldly, put away his spiritual pressure, and the air in the conference room resumed flowing. The security guards stood up and backed away as if they had been granted amnesty, with lingering fear in their eyes. Fatty Li wiped his sweat and knelt down. Mr. Jiang, will the morning meeting, continue the morning meeting? Jiang Chen waved, no need. I have something to do. He turned and left, and no one in the audience dared to stop him, looking like he was looking up to a god. The Lu family mansion is located in Yunding Villa, covering an area of 1,000 acres. It looks like a luxurious villa but is full of secret formations inside. Jiang Chen stepped into the main hall, where Gu Han and Lu Zhe were guarding the door. He sat down cross-legged and took out the storage ring. The golden light of the ring flashed, and billions of spiritual stones poured down like a landslide. The living room instantly bursts with spiritual energy, the crystal stones pile up into a sea, and the blue and white brilliance reflects on the walls. Each top-quality spiritual stone contains pure energy and is priceless. Lu Zhe's eyes widened, his throat rolled, and his voice trembled. Billions, billions of top-quality spiritual stones. Oh my God! This is the Ancient Immortal Cave storage. Brother Jiang, what an opportunity you have. Gu Han's eyes shone, and he sat cross-legged. Brother Jiang's bloodline is awakened, the only one. Jiang Chen closed his eyes, formed seals with his hands, and the system count began. The light from the spiritual stones gathered together, like a river flowing into the sea, and penetrated into his meridians. The bottleneck at the peak of foundation building suddenly shattered, and the golden elixir condensed. In the dantian, a golden elixir the size of a fist slowly took shape, with 9 golden patterns flowing on the surface, and the spiritual pressure increased tenfold. His body was covered with golden light, his skin was like jade, and his temperament was like that of a god descending from heaven. After counting, the spiritual stones in the storage ring were reduced by half. He has stabilized the early stage of the golden elixir, and his combat power can reach the peak of foundation building. Jiang Chen was slightly startled. Gu Han flashed out from the darkness and nodded sternly. Brother Jiang, this person is reliable. I checked and found out that he is a secular ally of the Lu family who specializes in the logistics of spiritual stones. Jiang Chen glanced at Lu Zhe. It is rare for a mortal to have such discernment. He nodded and said, okay. Lead the way. The three of them got in a car, and the Bentley drove towards the suburban luxury area like an arrow. Lu Zhe said as he spoke, Brother Jiang, I heard that Fatty Li in the company was so scared that he wet his pants and the whole company went crazy. With this appearance, you are crushing the common people, so happy. Gu Han chuckled, you're an ant's ear. Lu Zhe knelt down and kowtowed in worship, Jiang Shenzhuan. The wealth of spiritual stones is unheard of in the world of immortality. From now on, the Lu family swears to provide support for you, and the mansion will be your retreat. Gu Han stood up, his eyes wild, Brother Jiang's golden elixir. Invincible. Just as Jiang Chen stood up, the golden jade slip between his eyebrows trembled slightly, dual cultivation secret technique sensation. In the aftermath of the ancient cave in the distance, a breath of beautiful woman came, a weak but pure in-spirit body, it was Shen Qingqing. She was trapped by the aftermath of the ancient cave's restriction. A light of help flashed in her beautiful eyes, and she pointed directly at Jiang Chen, fellow immortal, save me, 2 cultivation opportunities, break the bottleneck together. Jiang Chen's heart was shocked. This woman was in the late stage of foundation building and had extraordinary talents. Her sincere heart can help him achieve the golden elixir. But dual cultivation requires true love, should he save him? Gu Han noticed something strange and whispered, Brother Jiang, what's the matter? Jiang Chen's eyes flickered, we have a chance to be friends. Shen Qingqing's voice echoed in his mind, Jiang Shenzhuan, my slave Shen Qingqing, would like to commit my body and mind to cultivate the great road together. A trace of surprise flashed across Gu Han's stern face, and he stood up and held his hands. Brother Jiang, this woman's aura is purine, and her talent in the late stage of foundation building is extraordinary. She is a good couple for 2 cultivators. The ancient cave is only 10 miles away, and I will escort you along. Lu Zhe wiped the cold sweat from his forehead, knelt down, and his voice trembled like a candle in the wind, Immortal Lord, the aftermath of the ancient cave is dangerous, and the spiritual energy is rioting. The Xiaoxiu forces have been spied on, and my family's intelligence shows that Fatty Li has been frightened to death, but he secretly contacted the rural cultivators in an attempt to take revenge. Please bring my guard array. Jiang Chen nodded, waved his sleeves, and the golden light of the storage ring fell into Lu Zhe's palm. Brother Gu, follow me to break the hole and save people." The three people turned into three streams of light, swept out of Yunding Villa, and went straight to the ancient underground cave in the city center. The night falls, and the city is full of neon lights. Under the bustling surface, the hidden aura cracks are like the mouth of a ghost. The entrance to the ancient cave is hidden in an abandoned construction site. The iron fence is twisted, the wind is howling around, and broken spiritual stone fragments are scattered, emitting decaying energy waves. Jiang Chen landed on the ground, guided by the jade slip between his eyebrows, and stepped into the cave entrance. Gu Han hunted in black robes and built a spiritual shield to protect his body. Lu Zhe gritted his teeth and followed, holding the formation disc trembling. "Immortal Lord, here, the spiritual pressure is flowing like a knife, and my mortal body has already felt the bones crack." The cave was as dark as an abyss, and the spiritual energy was turbulent like raging waves. The ancient runes on the rock wall flashed, and thunder arcs erupted with a roar. The road ahead of Jiang Chen was full of restrictions, and the turbulence at the peak of foundation building was like 1,000 arrows. Gu Han's face changed slightly, and he shouted, "Brother Jiang, be careful. This is an ancient killing formation, even I can't break it in the middle stage of foundation building." Lu Zhe's legs became weak, and he collapsed on the ground, eyes in his eyes. Full of despair, "It's over, we will be devoured. If Fatty Li's casual cultivators come, won't the Immortal Lord be attacked from both sides?" The echo in the cave amplified the taunts. Shen Qingqing's aura became weaker and weaker, and he murmured weakly, "The Immortal Lord, it's too late." Jiang Chen sneered, and the 9 lines of the golden elixir nourished by billions of spiritual stones were quietly moving. He stepped forward with his hands behind his back, and murmured in his mouth, "How dare a small ordinary formation stop me?" The golden elixir's spiritual pressure poured out like a mountain avalanche, and with only 30% of its power, it turned into a golden halo and crashed into the restriction. The rock wall shook violently, thunder arcs collapsed, gravel rained down, and the cave opened instantly. Gu Han's eyes widened, his throat rolled, and his voice trembled, "Brother Jiang, the power of the golden elixir, breaking the formation with one blow." With such power, he slaughtered Zhu Ji like a dog. Lu Zhe got up, and his eyes exploded with enthusiasm. "The immortal is invincible. This hole is like paper." The golden jade slip between Jiang Chen's brows kept buzzing, and Shen Qingqing's voice was like crying, reverberating in his mind, "Jiang Xianzuan, the ancient cave ban is backlash, and the slave family's spiritual body will be scattered. Come and save me quickly, the secret methods of dual cultivation are in harmony, the two of us we can reach the peak of the golden core together." His eyes were focused, and the spiritual pressure of the early stage of the golden core surged like a tide. The air in the main hall of the mansion was instantly distorted. Under the residual light of the spiritual stone, his figure was taller, and his handsome face showed determination and domineering. 100 feet deep, Shen Qingqing was suspended in the center of the spiritual energy vortex. Her beautiful face was as pale as snow, her snow-white dress was stained with blood, her exquisite figure was trembling in the turbulence, her beautiful eyes were half closed, and her pure in-spirit body was on the verge of collapse. 3 or 5 figures of casual cultivators flashed around. They were in the early stages of foundation building, and they smiled greedily, "This girl's spirit body is the best, suck her before leaving." The leading casual cultivator smiled ferociously and stretched out his hand, grabbing Shen Qingqing with his Yin-Chi claw shadow. Jiang Chen's figure flashed like a ghost, his golden light flashed, and he shot out with a palm. The palm wind was like a tornado. The leading casual cultivator's eyes widened and blood spurted from his mouth. "You, golden elixir." The body exploded into blood mist, and the aftermath swept away. The rest of the casual cultivators were stunned and screamed, "Monster! Spare your life!" Gu Han. After finishing the attack, the black sword energy spread freely, and the 3 heads flew together. He sneered, "You dare to covet Brother Jiang's opportunity, and you will die without mercy." Lu Zhe was dumbfounded, and his knees softened and he knelt down, destroy the foundation with one palm. Immortal Lord, invincible in the world. Returning to the secret room of the mansion in Yunding Villa, Jiang Chen set up an isolation formation, while Gu Han and Lu Zhe stayed outside. In the room, there are mountains of spiritual stones, reflecting the blue and white light. Shen Qingqing sits across from Jiang Chen, her delicate body trembling slightly. She takes off her outer robe, revealing her snowy muscles and jade bones, with undulating peaks and slender waist. She is as beautiful as a fairy descending to earth. Her cheeks turned red with embarrassment, and she whispered, "Immortal Lord, dual cultivation requires a connection of minds, slave family. I will leave everything to you." Jiang Chen's golden elixir was running, his hands covered her jade palms, pure yang spiritual power was injected, and the secret method of the jade slip was unfolded. Spiritual energy surged like a tide, and the two bodies merged. Shen Qingqing groaned. The pure Yin spirit body perfectly matched the 9 patterns of the golden elixir, and the energy exploded like a volcano. The secret room trembled, the light of the spiritual stone was sucked in, Jiang Chen's Dantian golden elixir expanded, the lines increased to 12, and he suddenly broke through the middle stage of the golden elixir. Shen Qingqing's foundation building bottleneck shattered, and she went straight to the early stage of the golden elixir. Her beautiful eyes were watery, and she snuggled into Jiang Chen's arms. "Husband. Qingqing will never be separated in this life. The joy of dual cultivation is worth thousands of stones." Jiang Chen caressed her hair gently, feeling tenderness in his heart. From mutual benefit, true love sprouted. "Qingqing, I will protect you." Jiang Chen picked up Shen Qingqing, holding her warmly in his arms. The fragrance of virginity hit her nostrils. Her beautiful eyes opened slightly, with tears glistening. "Thank you, Immortal Lord. Shen Qingqing of the slave family, I feel the guidance of the secret method of dual cultivation. I am willing to commit my body and mind to cultivate the Tao together." The jade slips resonated, and the two people's auras merged. Jiang Chen's heart felt warm. This woman is sincere and true. Dual cultivation can get twice the result with half the effort. He nodded. "Since we are destined, follow me back home." Gu Han escorted the 3 of them out of the ancient cave, and Lu Zhe's formation plate was activated to seal the entrance. Gu Han sensed a sudden increase in spiritual pressure from outside, and his stern face showed ecstasy. Brother Jiang has achieved great success in dual cultivation, and is in the middle stage of the golden elixir. Invincible. Lu Zhe's intelligence jade slip flashed and reported urgently, "Immortal Master is not good. Fatty Li has united with the small cultivators in the suburbs, and more than 20 foundation-building casual cultivators, resenting the humiliation of the company, led the company's senior management to besiege the villa. They shouted, 'Jiang Chen, monster, kill without mercy.' The whole company followed to watch the fun. More than 40 people crowded the door, waiting for you to make a fool of yourself." Outside the mansion, the night wind howled, and the gate of Yunding Villa was brightly lit. Fatty Li's fat face was twisted, and he stood in the lead. The more than 20 people building the foundation beside him had a strong aura and murderous intent. More than 40 colleagues from the company were watching, and Xiao Li screamed, "Mr. Li is mighty. Jiang Chen is pretending to be a ghost, and he is dead this time." The man wearing glasses pushed up his glasses and smiled sinisterly. "He was scary yesterday morning, and he will kneel down and beg for mercy tonight." The security guard put his burly body into a posture, and passers-by's mobile phones were live broadcasting, and the barrage flooded the screen. The loser flipped over live. "It's great." Fatty Li laughed wildly with his hands on his hips, his fat body trembling. "Jiang Chen. Do you think spiritual pressure is powerful? I spent a lot of money to hire Shen Cultivator to build 20 foundations. I will demolish your mansion tonight, and all the spiritual stones will be mine. Everyone in the company testifies that you, a loser, will never be able to turn around." Xiao, the leader in the late stage of foundation building, laughed ferociously. "Boy, hand over the spirit stone and I will spare your life." The whole audience roared with laughter and taunts. Trash. Kneel down. The villa's formation buzzed, the spiritual pressure collided, and the air was distorted. In the eyes of everyone, Jiang Chen had become a desperate ant. The doors suddenly opened. Jiang Chen came out with his hands behind his back, Shen Qingqing's delicate body was leaning on him, Gu Han was hunting in black robe, and Lu Zhe followed him on his knees. Fatty Li's fat face turned pale, his legs trembled, and he knelt down. Jiang, Mr. Jiang. Misunderstanding, I was wrong. The leader of the casual cultivators stared wide-eyed and lost his mind. Golden, Jindan mid-stage. 9-12 lines. Monster. His ferocious smile turned to fear, and the foundation-building spiritual shield hurriedly rose. The climax broke out. Jiang Chen slapped the leading casual cultivator with a palm. The shadow of the palm was like a golden dragon rising out of the sea, the air exploded, and a huge crater exploded on the lawn of the villa. The leading casual cultivator screamed. No, the body exploded into blood mist, and the soul was destroyed. The aftermath swept away, and the 19 loose cultivators were wiped out in ashes, and fragments of spiritual stones scattered, reflecting in the night sky like fireworks. Fatty Li peed his pants, crawled and kowtowed. Master, spare your life. My disciple, Fatty Li, is willing to become your disciple and be your first disciple. The company belongs to you. The whole audience gasped, and everyone in the company stared like a cow. Mr. Li kneels down to Master. Jiang Chen turns into an immortal. Jiang Chen snorted coldly and glanced with disdain. Mortal dignitaries, together with casual cultivators, dare to offend me? He stepped out, and the ground cracked with cobwebs, and his spiritual pressure was fully activated. The 20-year cultivator felt as if he had been struck by lightning. Blood spurted from his mouth and his knees hit the ground. His eyes were full of disbelief. It's impossible, to wipe out the whole group at once. The colleagues in the company were dead silent, and Xiaoli's delicate body went limp. Her screams turned into admiration. Mr. Jiang is amazing. So powerful. The man wearing glasses dropped his glasses to the ground, and his teeth chattered. He is an immortal. Gu Han swept away the remaining enemies with his sword energy and sneered. Brother Jiang massacred the group with one palm, and the spiritual stone is showing its power for the first time. Who dares to do it again? Lu Zhe shouted, the power of the immortal. The company spreads all over, and the urban immortal world is shocked. Shen Qingqing's beautiful eyes were filled with affection, and she gently held Jiang Chen's hand. My husband is domineering, and he loves evil. Jiang Chen looked down at Fatty Li and said calmly, now that you have become a disciple, go to the company and announce that I, Jiang Chen, am your lord. I will reward you with 10% of the spiritual stone to help you get started. Fatty Li kowtowed in ecstasy. Thank you, master. The entire company knelt down to worship. The former ridicule turned into a frenzy of worship. Xiaoli crawled closer and said, Jiang Xianzuan, accept me as your servant. Jiang Chen waved his sleeves and his spiritual pressure subsided. Everyone felt like they were being pardoned, and he was like a god in their eyes. Gu Han whispered, Brother Jiang's power has just begun, and the expansion of influence is just around the corner. Lu Zhe's intelligence came back. Senior brother, the intelligence shows that the ambitious female cultivator Yi Ji has noticed the fluctuation of the spirit stone and has sent spies to sneak into the villa. Jiang Chen's eyes were like lightning, locking onto the shadows in the distance. The figure of the black-clothed spy flashed and tried to escape, but it was like falling into a spider web. Gu Han was hunting in black robes, and his sword energy was like a dragon, blocking all directions. Brother Jiang, stop leaving. Gu Han shouted. The spiritual pressure in the middle stage of foundation building exploded, and a muffled groan came from the shadows. The man in black appeared staggeringly, his mask slipped off, revealing a pale and sinister face, and the aura in the early stage of foundation building trembled. He hit his knees on the ground, blood gushed out from his mouth, and his eyes were full of horror. You, how did you find me? Fairy Ye's information is correct, this villa formation can only be broken by building the foundation. Jiang Chen's eyes turned cold, and in the shadow in the distance, a figure of a spy in black flickered, and Yi Ji's voice came faintly, billions of spiritual stones, Jiang Chen, I'm here. Shen Qingqing's beautiful eyes were slightly focused, her jade hand gently grasped Jiang Chen's arm, pure spiritual power was quietly injected, her voice was soft and worried, husband, this woman has great ambitions, the ancient cave spiritual wave has been leaked, she sent spies with a premeditated plan. When Qingqing was building the foundation, he heard that Yi Jiayin's spiritual power was very powerful, specializing in absorbing the essence of monks. If he didn't kill it quickly, he might attract the enemy. The murderous intention is hidden, the lights of Yunding Villa are flickering, and the huge pit on the lawn is still bloody. The former scoffers are now whispering in despair, it's over. The golden elixir can't stop the family power in the middle stage, and Mr. Jiang will be crushed. The spy raised his head with a smile, Jiang Chen, no matter how many spiritual stones you have, you can't defeat the Yi family. The fairy knows that you have achieved great success in dual cultivation and have hundreds of millions in reserves. She has personally led the family's golden elixir here. Your death is not far away. Jiang Chen sneered, the 12 patterns of the golden elixir nourished by billions of spiritual stones quietly turned, and with just one finger, the golden light pierced the spy's eyebrows like a needle. The spy's eyes widened, his soul collapsed, and he screamed, no. Fairy Yi, save, the soul turned into blue smoke, and all the information poured into Jiang Chen's jade slips. He stood with his hands behind his hands and looked at everyone with disdain, Yi Ji. A medium-sized family? Ordinary ants dare to covet my spiritual stone. Gu Han's throat rolled, and his eyes exploded with enthusiasm, brother Jiang kills souls with one finger. So what about the Yi family's golden elixir? Kill them like dogs. Fatty Li collapsed on the ground, fat. Their flesh trembled and they kowtowed in ecstasy, Master is mighty. Disciples swear loyalty to the death. The whole company is the Master's peripheral, and the road to immortality is at your disposal. Everyone in the company glared like cattle. Xiaoli crawled closer, worshipping and screaming, Jiang Shenzhuan is invincible. What does the Yi family mean? Let it be wiped out. Jiang Chen waved his sleeves, and the spiritual stone filled the air with light. Fatty Li and more than 40 people in the company bathed in it. The mortal bones made a rattling sound, and the spiritual energy filled their bodies like a tide. When you become a disciple, come to my door. Once the spiritual stone is completed, it will help you to get started. It only takes a few days to build the foundation. Fatty Li was the first to bear the brunt. Heat surged in his dantian, and he suddenly became enlightened. His aura burst out in the early stage of foundation building. His fat face twisted into ecstasy, and he knelt down and shouted, "Thank you, Master." The disciple built the foundation overnight, there is no such miracle in the world. Everyone in the company broke through and started to build the foundation. Angry, Xiaoli panted again and again, her beautiful eyes watering, Jiang Shenzhuan has been so kind to me, I have established a foundation. I will follow you forever. The man in glasses pushed the mirror with trembling hands and choked up his voice, from being a taunt from a loser to a disciple of the immortal sect, the difference is overnight. Master is like a god. The live broadcast of the barrage by passers-by went crazy, unbelievable. The company has become a base for cultivating immortals, and Jiang Chen has become a god. After the instruction, Jiang Chen turned around and entered the house. Shen Qingqing followed closely, while Gu Han and Lu Zhe escorted him. Fatty Li got up and excitedly commanded everyone in the company, brothers, declare the company to be returned to immortal Lord Jiang. The worldly business is covering up the cultivators, and the Yi family is invading. Fight to the death. Under the night, the villa is brightly lit, the breaths of the new foundation builders are intertwined, the periphery of urban immortal cultivators is beginning to form, Jiang Chen is laying out a low-key layout, and Lu Zhe activates the family intelligence network to erase traces of the secular world. Don't worry, Immortal Lord, all surveillance will be deleted, the Yi family's spies will be cut off from clues, and the urban area will be expanded in a low-key manner. In the secret room, the spiritual stones piled up like a mountain, and the blue and white light reflected the crystal wall. Gu Han sat cross-legged and counted, the jade slips between his eyebrows flickered, and his stern face suddenly showed shock. Brother Jiang. There are more than 500 million top-quality spiritual stones left, and there is a jade volume hidden in it. The Ancient Book of Dual Cultivation. Shen Qingqing combination Ju can allow dual cultivation partners to enter the Yuaning together. 10 times the effort with half the effort. This treasure book records that the ancient cave is a holy place for dual cultivation, and the remaining treasures are still in the depths. Jiang Chen's eyes lit up, and Shen Qingqing's delicate body trembled, her beautiful eyes full of emotion. Husband, this book matches the secret method between us, and we can explore the treasures in the ancient cave together. Jiang Chen nodded, hugged Shen Qingqing's slender waist, and injected pure yang spiritual power. Qingqing, dual cultivation is not only about the physical body, but also requires the connection of the mind. Let's practice again tonight to stabilize the realm. The formation in the secret room buzzed, the two took off their clothes, and the snow, muscle and jade bones reflected each other. Shen Qingqing phone rises and falls, blushing and whispering, husband. Qingqing's body and mind belong to you, for mutual benefit to true love, I will never regret it in this life. The 12 lines of the golden elixir are perfectly integrated with the pure Yin spirit body, the aura erupts like a volcano, the rock wall of the secret room trembles, and the light of the spiritual stone is sucked in. Gu Han was standing guard outside, feeling his spiritual pressure surge and dripping with cold sweat. Brother Jiang and his wife are both cultivators, and their power is almost as powerful as the late Jin Dan. If you cultivate the treasure book, you will be invincible in the world. With the completion of dual cultivation, Jiang Chen's cultivation reached the peak of the middle stage of the stable golden elixir, and Shen Qingqing's second golden elixir pattern first appeared. The two embraced each other and stood up, their relationship as bright as a spiritual stone. Jiang Chen smiled faintly, Brother Gu, prepare for the battle against the remaining treasures of the ancient cave. Take a small-scale adventure and get the elixir to help you break through. The three of them turned into streamers and entered the abandoned construction site in the city center. The iron gate at the entrance of the ancient cave was twisted, the wind howled more fiercely, and the cracks in the spiritual energy were like the mouth of a giant beast. Lu Zhe stayed behind at the villa, and the message was transmitted, Immortal Lord, be careful, the number of spies from the Yi Ji family has increased to 10, and the urban immortal cultivation circle is in turmoil. Deep in the cave, there are many restrictions, and the turbulent flow at the peak of the foundation building is like a flurry of swords. Gu Han's face changed slightly, Brother Jiang, this place is 3 times more dangerous than the previous one. The turbulent flow can constrict the early stage of the golden elixir. Shen Qingqing waved his jade palm lightly, using a pure Yin shield to protect his body. But was shaken back by the aftermath, her beautiful eyes looked worried, husband, there is a breath of elixir in the depths, but the shadow of the guardian beast. Suddenly, a peak-level foundation building Yin spirit beast roared out, with claws like hooks and a strong Yin energy, and rushed towards the three of them. Gu Han's sword energy swept across, but was bounced away by the beast's shadow. He groaned and backed away, this beast was born in the ancient cave and is invulnerable. The whole place was dead silent. Everyone in the company was still kneeling on the ground. Looking up, Xiaoli's delicate body trembled and she screamed, there is another enemy. Jiang Xianzuan, what kind of monster is it this time? We just escaped a disaster and are here to die again. Fatty Li's fat face turned pale. He crawled forward, his voice trembling like chaff, Master, this man in black has a strange aura. He is definitely not a loose cultivator of the Li family. The company's intelligence network shows that the city there is a Yi Ji in the suburbs, who is known as the Yinling Fairy, and has countless spies. She is eyeing the spirit stone. Isn't it possible that we are in for a big disaster? Jiang Chen snorted coldly, the stamina of billions of spiritual stones surged, and the golden elixir spiritual pressure was fully activated, as if the sky was falling and the earth was falling. With a palm shot, the golden dragon's palm roared, and the ancient cave rock wall collapsed. The Yin spirit beast opened its bloody eyes and howled miserably. Ouch! The body exploded into black mist, and its core rolled down. Gu Han glared like a bell and his voice trembled. Brother Jiang killed the ancient beast with one palm. This power is so powerful that nascent soul is terrifying. Shen Qingqing leaned forward and kissed Jiang Chen's cheek in admiration. My husband is domineering. Qingqing's heart is filled with excitement. Thousands of feet deep, the spiritual medicine garden appears, with blood ganoderma and xianin fruit growing in clusters, and the medicinal fragrance is fragrant. Jiang Chen picked several plants and injected spiritual power to assist the operation of the dual cultivation manual. The golden elixir in his dantian expanded, faintly touching the threshold of the later stage. Protector Gu Han was ecstatic. Brother Jiang's elixir plus spiritual stone, the breakthrough is just around the corner. From now on, you will be the only one in the urban immortal cultivation circle. The night wind howled, and the iron grid of the abandoned construction site in the city center was twisted like a ghost's claw. The wind at the entrance of the ancient cave was even stronger, and the cracks in the aura swallowed up neon fragments of light, reflecting Jiang Chen's three figures like lightning across the sky. Jiang Chen's eyes were cold and locked in the direction of Yending Villa in the distance, where the spiritual pressure was soaring into the sky, the blood was soaring into the sky, and the shouts of killing were surging like a tide. Yiji. 3 golden elixirs from a medium-sized family, with 50 foundations, dare to wash away my foundation with blood. The storage ring in his sleeve buzzed, the blue and white brilliance of 500 million top-quality spiritual stones was faintly pulsing, the ancient blood was boiling, and the 12 lines of the golden elixir were dormant like a dragon. Gu Han was hunting in black robes, his stern face was twisted into an ashen color, his sword energy was ready to go out in the middle stage of foundation building, his voice was as low as thunder. Brother Jiang, the Yi family is so powerful, how can Fatty Li and his new foundations be able to stop him? Come back quickly. Shen Qingqing's delicate body pressed against Jiang Chen's arm, the golden elixir lines of her pure Yin spirit body turned slightly, her beautiful eyes were filled with worry, and her jade hands were quietly infused with feminine spirit. Power, husband, the formation of the villa can only be resisted by the peak of foundation building. Elder Jindan is here in person. Junior brother Li and the others are in danger. Qingqing will kill you through the Yi family. The 3 people turned into 3 streams of light, tearing apart the night sky and heading towards Yending Villa. Along the way, there were tall buildings in the city, and the neon was like blood. Passers-by looked up and saw the twinkling light in the sky, unaware that the cultivator killing disaster had begun. There is still blood in the huge pit on the lawn of Yending Villa. It used to be brightly lit and is now a Shura field. Fatty Li's fat body was bathed in blood, and his spiritual pressure was trembling in the early stage of foundation building. He led the company's more than 40 new foundation builders to defend the formation, and his sword light was like a net, blocking the attack of the enemy foundation builders. His fat face twisted, and he roared, "Brothers, hold on. Master is back, no one of the Yi family's thieves will be left behind." Xiaoli's delicate body was stained with blood, her beautiful eyes were shining with tears, her foundation building aura was barely functioning, and she shot out a thunder with her jade palm to drive away an enemy. Brotherly, these foundation building are like a pack of wolves. We are new members, and the spiritual stone has not been firmly established, so we can't hold on any longer. The bespectacled man's hand shook as he pushed the mirror, the information slip broke into pieces, and his voice was choked with sobs. Yi Ji shouted, saying that Jiang Xianzuan is a loser who got rich, the spiritual stone was stolen, the outer layer of the family's golden elixir has been broken, and the company is about to be destroyed. Yi Ji's enchanting figure is hanging in the air, her Yin spirit fairy skirt is fluttering, her black hair is dancing like a snake, and the spiritual pressure of the middle stage of the golden elixir is like a ghostly ghostland covering the whole village. 3 golden elixir elders are standing around, hunting in grey robes. with murderous intent in their eyes like knives. One of the elders smiled ferociously, waved his withered palm, and the shadow of the Yin spirit's palm shattered a corner of the villa's protective formation, causing rubble to rain like rain. Fairy Yi, the mortals of this villa have built the foundation, the aura of the spirit stone is strong, and Jiang Chen's silk must hide a huge treasure. Kill it. Yi Ji's red lips taunted, and her voice shrilled like a silver bell, echoing in the night sky. Jiang Chen, you are a pretentious wimp. The loser in the city got rich overnight and gained power with the help of spiritual stones. How dare you hand over your billions in savings? Otherwise, your wife and concubines will be wiped out in blood. Everyone in the company felt desperate when they heard this, and Xiaoli screamed, "Come on, immortal lord, we can't hold on any longer. With the palm of Elder Jin Dan, we will be wiped out." Lu Zhe sat cross-legged in the center of the village. The rich second-generation family intelligence network was fully activated. His mobile phone was buzzing. The secular security convoy had blocked the road at the foot of the mountain. The surveillance screen was flashing. His fat face was dripping with cold sweat. He sent an urgent message, "Immortal Lord, the Yi Family Foundation establishment has entered the inner garden. Fatty Li and the others are defending with blood. I use the black and white methods of the Lu family. The news has been blocked, the Metropolitan Police Department has taken over, and all live broadcasts have been deleted, but the golden elixir spiritual pressure has been leaked, and there may be big fish in the immortal circle." Before he finished speaking, a Yi family's golden elixir elder approached with a sinister smile, pointed out, and the willow fire burned the edge of the formation. Lu Zhe retreated with a groan, and yelled in his heart, "Immortal Master, the disciple is incompetent and can't protect the foundation." On the way back, the jade slips buzzed, and Lu Zhe reported urgently, "Immortal Lord." Yi Ji came to Yunding Villa in person, and brought 3 of the family's golden elixir elders to build a 50-50 foundation. She shouted, "Jiang Chen, hand over the spirit stone, and spare your life. Otherwise, the villa will be bloodbathed. The foundation builders outside the company can't stop it, and their momentum is like breaking bamboo." Jiang Chen's eyes were cold and he looked far into the direction of the villa. The spiritual pressure in the night sky soared into the sky. Yi Ji's enchanting figure appeared, and a sneer echoed, "Jiang Chen, come out and die." Yi Jimei's beautiful eyes narrowed, her face twisted, and she smiled sharply, "Coming?" The Jiaoxi couple added a useless piece of wood to build the foundation and died. She pointed her jade finger, and the elders of the 3 golden elixirs moved together, and the shadows of the Yin spirit palms poured out like a sea of ghosts, blasting towards Jiang Chen. Gu Han was the first to bear the brunt, his black robe was torn, his sword energy collapsed in the middle stage of foundation building, blood spurted out from his mouth, he staggered back, "Brother Jiang, the golden elixir team-up is too strong." Shen Qingqing's pure Yin shield shattered, her delicate body flew upside down, the snow peaks undulated and stained with blood, the beauty with tears in her eyes, "Husband, be careful." Everyone in the company stared wide-eyed, and Fatty Li's fat face turned pale. "It's over, the immortal lord and his wife can't stop it, the Yi family is invincible." Yi Ji approached with a sinister smile, "Kneel down and offer the spirit stone, otherwise your soul will fly away." The desire to rise is first suppressed. At the moment of desperation, Jiang Chen laughed, the storage ring exploded, and the blue and white brilliance of 500 million top-quality spiritual stones poured out like a galaxy. Spiritual stone formation, billions of stars explode. The whole place was rioted with spiritual energy, and the lawn of the villa turned into a sea of spiritual stones. Each spiritual stone exploded like a miniature star, and a rain of golden needles penetrated the enemy formation. The 50 members of the Yi Family Foundation establishment were the first to bear the brunt of the attack. They screamed, and their flesh and blood exploded into mist. Only a dozen or so people were left kneeling down to beg for mercy. The spirit stone penetrated into the meridians with great force, and the foundation establishment collapsed. The 3 golden elixir elders glared like an ox, but the body with withered palms was pierced by the starburst. His chest was full of blood. An elder's throat rolled, and his voice trembled. This, billions of top-quality spiritual stone formations? Impossible. A medium-sized family can't spend more than tens of millions. How can he get this treasure? Yi Ji's demonic body trembled, her Yin spirit skirt shattered, her snow muscles were exposed, and her golden elixir spiritual pressure trembled wildly. Jiang Chen. You hide your strength. Jiang Chen stepped forward with disdain. The 12 lines of the golden elixir were fully opened, the ancient bloodline roared, and with one point, the golden light pierced Yi Ji's eyebrows like a needle. She was about to lose her soul, and she screamed and knelt down, "Spare your life. The information about the spirit stone is wrong. You are not a loser, but a powerful person in the hidden world." Gu Han wiped the blood and stood up, his eyes burst with enthusiasm, and his voice trembled. Brother Zhang's spirit stone exploded, severely damaging the golden elixir. The Yi family is like a dog butcher. Shen Qingqing threw herself into Jiang Chen's arms, worshipped and kissed him. "My husband is so powerful." Qingqing is intoxicated. Fatty Li got up, his fat trembling wildly, and kowtowed in ecstasy. "Master is invincible. Company brothers, capture the remnants of the Yi family, and expand my power." Xiaoli's beautiful eyes were watery, and she screamed. The immortal lord exploded, the foundation was reduced to dust, and the Yi family collapsed. "We will follow you forever." The man in glasses pushed the mirror and choked with sobs. From despair to reversal, the immortal lord became a god in one night. Just when the villa's protective formation was about to collapse, Fatty Li's fat body trembled wildly. He knelt down and shouted in despair, "Master, I'm sorry." 3 streams of light suddenly descended from the sky. Jiang Chen stood with his hands behind his hands, his peak spiritual pressure in the middle stage of the golden elixir was like the top of a mountain, and the ancient cave elixir blood Ganoderma and Xian Yin fruit surged with power. He looked at Yi Ji coldly. "Fairy Yin Ling. A medium-sized family ant, you are worthy of mocking me?" Gu Han's sword was unsheathed, Shen Qingqing's jade palm was lightly raised, and the 3 of them came together, instantly reversing the momentum. In the secret room after the war, Jiang Chen sat cross-legged, Shen Qingqing leaned against each other's slender waists, the pure Yin spirit body blended with the 12 patterns of the golden elixir, the Xian Yin and Yang combination Ju was running, and the power of the elixir poured into the dantian like a volcano. Her snowy cheeks were blushing, her beautiful eyes were full of love, her jade hands touched Jiang Chen's chest, and she murmured, "Husband, from the mutually beneficial cultivation in the ancient cave to fighting the enemy side by side tonight, my pure mind has changed. It is not for the state, but for the true love. We will never be separated in this life, and I am willing to cultivate the nascent soul together, even if all enemies come." Jiang Chen hugged his slender waist, pure yang spiritual power feedback, a deep kiss on the red lips. "Qingqing, you and I are connected, we are both cultivating together, and you are the only one accompanying us." The formation in the secret room buzzed, the 2 took off their robes and blended, the mountains undulated, the spiritual energy exploded like a tide, the rock wall trembled. Gu Han stood guard outside, cold sweat broke out. Brother Jiang and his wife truly love dual cultivation, their power reaches the peak of Jindan. Invincible legend. Jiang Chen waved his sleeves and withdrew the spirit stones, leaving only 10% to sprinkle on the captive Yi family foundation builders and the 3 wounded golden elixir elders. Their meridians were reshaped and they kowtowed one after another. "Jiang Xianzuan, spare your life. I am willing to be loyal and give all the Yi family's information." The power surged, Fatty Li commanded the reorganization, and the breaths of new disciples intertwined. Lu Zhe was relieved, and the intelligence network buzzed. "Immortal Lord, the secular blockade has been completed, the black and white have suppressed the wind, and no one in the city knows." At the completion of dual cultivation, Jiang Chen's golden elixir expanded, his 12 lines faded into 13, and his cultivation reached the threshold of the peak. He stood up, his eyes as bright as lightning. "Brother Gu, Fatty Li, prepare the sect. The periphery of the company will be the base, and the prisoners of the Yi family will be the cadres. In the future, I will cultivate immortality in the city, and I will be the only one to be the master. Gu Han knelt down and said in a fervent voice, Brother Jiang, sect master, will follow you to the death. Fatty Li's fat face was ecstatic, Master, once the sect is established, the losers will attack everyone. Suddenly, Lu Zhe's jade slip trembled, and information came in like thunder. Is the immortal lord overjoyed? No, it's a disaster. The Xiantian sect, a large immortal cultivation family, heard the rumors about the spirit stone and sent an elder at the peak of the golden core to test it in person. He has entered the city and shouted, Jiang Chen, boy, give me 30% of the spirit stone, otherwise I will destroy your whole family. Jiang Chen sneered, looking at the aura soaring into the sky outside the city. The figure of the gray-haired elder appeared, his murderous intent revealed, boy, get out. Husband, this spiritual seed is the ultimate in the Xian Yin and Yang combination technique. It has given birth to our bloodline, and there is hope for the nascent soul. Shen Qingqing whispered, her voice trembling like weeping, admiration and love intertwined, clinging to Jiang Chen's chest, the spiritual energy trembling slightly in the ups and downs of the mountains. Jiang Chen kissed her forehead deeply, his eyes were gentle but suddenly cold. Looking at the aura outside the city, he said, Qingqing, first stabilize the spiritual seed. The ants of the Xiantian sect are here, just in time to establish the sect's prestige. Gu Han pushed the door in, his black robe stained with blood. In the middle stage of foundation building, the sword energy has recovered to 70%, and the stern face is twisted in a fanatical way. Brother Jiang, the sect's backbone has been reorganized. Fatty Li led the company's 40 foundation builders, and the Yi family captured more than 10 foundation builders and 3 wounded Jindan elders, all of whom kowtowed and were on standby. The main hall of the villa is brightly lit, and the afterglow of spiritual stones on the lawn is like star sand. Fatty Li is kneeling on the ground. His spiritual pressure is stable in the early stage of foundation building. His fat face is twisted in ecstasy. Behind him, the old company and Yi family prisoners are in darkness. The eyes of the new initiate are like fire. Master. Yi Ji, the demon girl, has given her family information. The elder of Xiantian sect has gray hair as frost. The peak golden elixir has 2 late-stage golden elixir protectors and 50 foundation building elites. They have sealed the foot of the mountain. They shouted that they regarded the master as a nouveau riche loser, and the spiritual stone was stolen. Offer the treasure within 3 breaths. Yi Ji knelt in the corner of the hall, the Yin spirit skirts shattered snowy flesh looming, her spiritual pressure in the middle stage of the golden elixir trembling wildly, her beautiful eyes drooping, her voice choked with sobs. Jiang Xianzuan, this slave mistakenly recognized the power. The Yi family's information is in the jade slip, I heard. Billions of spiritual stones, trying to annex the city's hermits. The gray robes of the 3 Yi family Jindan elders were stained with blood, and the blood holes were still in their throats. They echoed with trembling voices, the power of the immortal lord is like a star explosion. We are willing to be the pioneers of the sect. Jiang Chen stepped into the hall with his hands behind his back. The spiritual pressure at the peak of the golden elixir was like a mountain pouring down on him. Everyone in the audience felt their knees weak and kowtowed. Fatty Li's fat body trembled as he screamed, Master is invincible. The losers counterattacked and massacred Ye's family overnight. Xiaoli's beautiful eyes were watery, she pushed the man with glasses away, climbed forward and kissed the corner of Jiang Chen's robe. My lord, in the past, the company mocked me and others for being useless, now I will follow you to establish our clan forever. No regrets. Lu Zhe wiped away the cold sweat on his fat face, and the mobile phone intelligence network buzzed, ecstatically saying, Immortal Master, the black and white group suppressed the news, the city police said there was an earthquake, and no one knew about the immortal cultivator. More than 100 cultivators have gathered at the foot of the mountain. After hearing the rumors about the spirit stone, they are begging to join. Listen to my order. Jiang Chen's voice was like thunder, the storage ring buzzed, and the top-quality spiritual stones poured into the hall. The blue and white light was like a gathering of stars. Each spiritual stone was as big as a fist, and the pure spiritual energy surged like a fairy spring. Everyone in the audience widened their eyes and stopped breathing. Fatty Li opened his mouth wide and drooled, billions, billions of spiritual stones. 1% is over 50 million, the master's wealth is as high as the sky. Gu Hanjuan's face was twisted and his sword finger trembled. Brother Jiang, no country in the world of cultivators can take such treasures. Once the Hidden Immortal sect is established, it will be invincible. Shen Qingqing raised her jade hand lightly, the internal affairs token flashed, her beautiful eyes. Han Qing, husband, the Hidden Immortal sect is officially established. Qing takes charge of the internal affairs, joins the casual cultivators, allocates spiritual stones, and stabilizes the foundation. Jiang Chen waved his sleeves, and the spiritual stones were divided into hundreds of piles and scattered into everyone's hands. The meridians of the new foundation builder surged, and their realm soared. In the middle of foundation building, the blood holes of the 3 elders of the Yi family's golden elixir healed, and the golden elixir spiritual patterns increased. They all kowtowed and roared, "The grace of the immortal Lord! Long live the Hidden Immortal sect!" Loose cultivators came upon hearing the news. More than 200 people knelt in the darkness at the foot of the mountain. Most of them were foundation-building cultivators. There were occasionally hermits in the early stage of the Golden Core. The greed in their eyes turned to fear. The leader, a middle-aged casual cultivator, had his throat rolling. There are rumors about Jiang Xianzuan counting billions of spirit stones in one night. No, this is the immortal descending to the earth. Jiang Chen released his spiritual pressure and looked down with disdain. The Hidden Immortal sect is recruiting people, teach the secret method of dual cultivation, follow me, and crush Shen. The casual cultivators smashed their knees to the ground and shouted, "I wish to join the Hidden Immortal sect. The Immortal Lord is invincible." Gu Han, the deputy sect master, hunted in black robes and pointed his sword to the sky. The sect leader ordered us to prepare for the attack. The atmosphere in the main hall was like a volcano gathering momentum. Jiang Chen sat cross-legged on the throne, Shen Qingqing leaned against his side, the pulse of spiritual seeds warmed his heart, everyone's admiring eyes were like needles. The Hidden Immortal sect became famous overnight, and the urban immortality circle was shocked. The night wind turned fierce, and the aura outside the city soared into the sky like a pillar of blood. The figure of the gray-haired elder of the Shen sect appeared in the sky. The spiritual pressure of the peak golden elixir was like a ghost realm. The gray robes of the 2 late-stage golden elixir protectors behind him were flying. 50 foundation-building elite sword formations were dense. The murderous intent was approaching Yunding Villa. With a wave of his withered palm, the road at the foot of the mountain collapsed, the worldly convoy was shattered, and the ferocious smile echoed, "Jiang Chen is a nouveau riche. How dare you build a clan by relying on spiritual stones to smash the golden elixir? I offer you 30% of the spiritual stones, and I will spare your family. Otherwise, the Hidden Immortals will be bloodbathed, and all the spiritual stones will return to Shen. Lu Zhe's intelligence jade slipped shattered, and his fat face turned pale. "Immortal Lord, they broke the blockade, the black and white are useless, the golden elixir is at its peak with 1 palm, the villa's protective formation was like paper." Fatty Li's fat body trembled, and he led the crowd to defend the formation, his voice choked, "Master, Xuantian's foundation building elite is as good as a wolf, we are new, the spiritual stone's favor is not stable, we can't stop it." Yiji's face was distorted, and she knelt down and trembled. "Immortal Master, a large family of Shen sect, with a profound background, this old name is Shen Qingqing, and he has killed countless sects in his life." The villa's protective formation buzzed and shattered to the edge, Xuantian's foundation building rushed like a tide, the new casual cultivator stared in despair, Xiaoli screamed, "It's over. The golden elixir late-stage protector's wind palm is close, the spiritual pressure crushes us, we fly away." Gu Han's sword was unsheathed, his black robe torn, the foundation building's breath was trembling, and he was the first to be repelled by the palm of the first protector's palm, blood sprayed. Sect Master, the peak golden elixir is too strong. The sect Shen Qingqing's shield was shattered, her delicate body was stained with blood, and her beautiful eyes were filled with tears. Husband, please protect me, don't move. The whole sect's knees were weak, Fatty Li's fat face was twisted, and he shouted in despair, Master, I'm sorry. The Ancient sect is dead. The desire to rise is first suppressed. At the moment of desperation, Jiang Chen stood up laughing, the ancient bloodline roared, and the 12 golden elixir lines exploded into 13. Shen Qingqing's spiritual seeds resonated, the power of pure yin poured in like a tide, and the true love of dual cultivation broke out in the Xian Yin and Yang combination Ju. The Dantian roared, the golden elixir collapsed and reconsolidated, the childish form of the Yuanyang appeared, the Yuanyang spiritual fetus sat 9 inches high, its eyes opened like stars. Nascent soul realm. The power of dual cultivation, breaking through the realm. Jiang Chen's spiritual pressure was like the sky and the earth shattering, the lawn of the villa trembled, the storage ring was fully activated, and the counting of billions of spiritual stones in one night broke out in public. The blue and white stars poured into the audience, and 500 million top-quality spiritual stones turned into a boundless sea of stars. Each one exploded like a sun, and a rain of golden needles penetrated Xuantian's formation. 50 people in Xuantian's foundation screamed in agony with their flesh and blood exploding into the mist, while only a dozen or so kneeling on the ground had their meridians collapsed. The 2 golden elixir late-stage protectors stared like an ox, their grey robes were pierced, and their chests were filled with blood. The first protector's throat rolled, and his voice trembled, billions of top-grade spiritual stones are publicly counted? Impossible. Xuantian's sect does not exceed 100 million, how did he come here? Wealth. Xian Fengzi's grey hair stood on end, but his body was protected by a star blast, and his golden core was shaking wildly. He knelt down and yelled, Nascent soul realm. The legend of the spiritual stone is wrong. You are not a nouveau riche, but the reincarnation of the immortal king. Han wiped the blood and stood up, his stern face was full of enthusiasm, and his sword finger trembled. As soon as the sect master Yuanying came out, the star exploded and counted hundreds of millions, severely damaging the large family. The Hidden Immortal sect is invincible. Shen Qingqing threw herself into his arms, worshipped and kissed. Both husband and wife have broken the Yuanying, pure spiritual species prosper together. Fatty Li stood up, his fat body trembling, and he kowtowed in ecstasy, Master's miracle. The count of spiritual stones is revealed, Xian Tian is like a dog. Xiaoli screamed, from despair to immortal king, the rise of the Hidden Immortal sect is an urban legend. The aftershocks on the rock wall of the secret room of Yunding Villa are still lingering. The spiritual mist spread slowly like a tornado. Jiang Chen's 12 golden elixir lines and 13 faint pulses roar like a heart. The pure yang spiritual power blends with Shen Qingqing's pure yin energy, as if the entire villa is enveloped in an invisible fairyland. He slowly stood up and hugged Shen Qingqing's slender waist. Her snowy cheeks were blushing, her beautiful eyes were full of water, and her jade hands were caressing her lower abdomen. A strange spiritual seed quietly sprouted there, and the power of true love between the 2 cultivators turned into a Yuan Yin spiritual fetus, which pulsed faintly, indicating the inheritance of the future avenue. Jiang Chen stepped forward with contempt, and pointed out the nascent soul's spiritual pressure. Zuan Fengzi was about to lose his soul, and screamed and knelt down, spare your life. I am willing to give Xiantian information and serve the Ancient. The meridians of more than 10 Xiantian prisoners and 2 injured protectors were reshaped, and the spiritual stones were scattered. They kowtowed and roared, the grace of the immortal lord, long live the Hidden Immortal sect. The new cultivators' eyes widened and they worshipped like crazy, Master Yuanying, the spirit stone is revealed. Lu Zhe was relieved, and the intelligence network was restarted, the immortal master, the secular world is shocked, and the Hidden Immortal sect is famous in the city. The hall was filled with joy. Jiang Chen was sitting cross-legged, Shen Qingqing was leaning against him, the spiritual seeds were pulsing more vigorously, Gu Han and Fatty Li were reorganizing the captives, and the sect's foundation was as stable as Mount Tai. Suddenly, Yi Ji's jade slip trembled violently, her face turned pale, and her voice was like thunder, a big disaster for the Immortal Lord. The slaves' old tribe united with Xuantian's remaining party and the Yuanying elders of the Tianxian Holy Sect to plan a general attack. They shouted, "Jiang Chen, give all the spiritual stones, otherwise, the Yin Man sect will be wiped out within 3 days." Over the Yunding Villa, the night was pouring like ink. The huge spiritual boat tore through the clouds. The simple dragon-carved patterns on the boat's body shone with blood-red spiritual light. The murderous intent of the nascent soul was like a tsunami. Every inch of the soil on the lawn of the villa trembled and cracked under its pressure. At the head of the boat, a white-haired old man stood with his hands behind his back. The spiritual pressure of the nascent soul realm expanded like a boundless ghost realm. His skinny face was covered with sinister wrinkles, and his eyes were like the abyss of hell. When he swept across the hall, the meridians of everyone in the Hidden Immortal sect stagnated, and the foundation-building cultivators fell to the ground spurting blood. Blood gushed out of their mouths, and despair spread like a tide in their eyes. "Jiang Chen, kid." The old man's voice echoed in the night sky like the chorus of thousands of ghosts. Every word turned into an invisible sound blade, cutting through the villa's protective array. The array plates buzzed and shattered, and the blue light disintegrated like fireworks withering away. Fatty Li's fat body bore the brunt of the impact. His foundation-building spiritual pressure was newly stable. At this moment, his knees hit the ground. His fat face was twisted into a ball. Sweat mixed with blood dripped down. He screamed, "Oh my God!" Elder Yuanying of Tianxian Saint Sect. There are also 3 golden elixir peak protectors and hundreds of elites below Yuanying on the spirit boat. "Master, we the new sect has just been established, and the blessings of the spiritual stone have not yet been fully integrated. I can't stop it." Behind him, the old company members and the prisoners of the Yi family were trembling. Xiao Li's beautiful eyes were filled with tears. The old man with glasses collapsed on the ground and murmured, "It's over. From the company loser to the sect, I just tasted the path to immortality, and I'm about to turn into ashes. Immortal Lord, spare your life." Gu Han hunted in black robes, his sword energy barely protecting his body. In the middle stage of foundation building, his spiritual power trembled wildly, and veins popped up on his forehead. Pale appeared for the first time on his stern face. He gritted his teeth and roared, "Sect Master, the Tianxian Holy Sect has thousands of years of history. The elder nascent soul is named Zunyuanzi, and he killed 3 sects by himself. Their spirit boat is an ancient relic, and their formation can kill golden elixirs instantly. We have 200 cultivators and captives, and we can only block 1 round." Shen Qingqing's delicate body trembled slightly, protected by a purine shield. Holding the spirit seed in his lower abdomen, his cheeks were bloodless, fear and determination intertwined in his beautiful eyes. He held Jiang Chen's sleeve tightly. "Husband, the pulse of the spirit seed is unstable, Tianquan's murderous intention is too strong, avoid the sharp edge first." Lu Zhe's fat face turned pale, the mobile phone intelligence network collapsed, the secular siren was approaching but was isolated by the spiritual pressure. He knelt down and kowtowed, "Immortal Lord, the black and white are powerless, as soon as the spirit boat appears, the urban immortal cultivation circle has been spread, and the Hidden Immortal sect is in danger." On the spirit boat, Zuanyuanzi smiled like thunder, waved his sleeves and robes, and hundreds of sword lights under the boat poured like a torrential rain, bombarding the casual cultivators at the foot of the mountain. The new initiates screamed in agony, the meridians of those in the middle stage of foundation building were severed, and the blood mist exploded and spread all over the grass. On the ground, only a few dozen people were left and retreated in embarrassment. The admiration in their eyes turned into fear. "Immortal Lord. Invincible legend, meeting the mysterious sky is like a baby meeting a giant beast. The 3 golden elixir peak guardians floated down from the air, grey robes fluttering, and the shadow of the palms of the evil wind covering the sky and the moon. He smashed the corners of the protective formation with one palm. Fatty Lee led the crowd to build a foundation to hold on. The stack of spiritual stones barely blocked it, but was blown away by the aftermath. His fat flesh rolled, and he vomited blood and roared, "Master, my boss in the company used to laugh at me. You are a coward, and now you are the core member of the sect, but you are going to die here, in despair." Everyone in the audience felt their knees weak, their breathing stagnant, black clouds pressing over their heads, and murderous intent like a net. The Hidden Immortal sect suddenly fell into the abyss after rising overnight. Jiang Chen sat cross-legged on the main seat, with his childlike nascent soul sitting 9 inches high in his dantian. His eyes were as cold as the exploding stars. His surface was calm and expressionless, but his ancient blood was quietly boiling, but not moving lightly. He stood up with his hands behind his hands, and his voice was as calm as water. "Tianxian ants, 3 days limit. The Ancient sect's spiritual stones are infinite, how can they be coveted? Qingqing, Gu Han, and Fatty Li, follow me into the underground ruins to find the ancient magic weapons to solidify the foundation. Yi Ji, you sneak into the old ministry, pretending to instigate rebellion, and explore the reality of Tianxian. Lu Zhe, expand the secular network, blockade 1 cut." When everyone heard this, a glimmer of hope flashed in their eyes, but was suppressed by Ling Zhou's murderous intent again. Gu Han's sword finger trembled. "The ancient caves in the city extend for thousands of miles, and I heard that there are relics of divine weapons." Shen Qingqing's jade hand gently touched the spirit seed, and whispered affectionately, "Husband, please help stabilize the nascent soul, Qingqing will accompany you." In the darkness of night, Jiang Chen and his entourage quietly sneaked into the underground secret passage of Yending Villa. The aura of the ancient cave lingered like ghosts, the moss on the walls shimmered with phosphorescence, and the faint sound of gold and iron could be heard from the depths. Behind him, the Tianxian spirit boat circled the top of the mountain. Xian Yuanzi glanced with his withered eyes and smiled ferociously, a nouveau riche loser, hiding in a rat's hole. 3 days later, after digging 3 feet into the ground, all the spiritual stones were returned to Tianxian. Black clouds rolled over the villa. The new cultivator of the Ancient sect held his head and trembled, and Xiaoli burst into tears. "The sect master is in danger, and we are left behind like sheep waiting to be slaughtered." Lu Zhe ran around, dialing wildly on his mobile phone, using the resources of the second generation of rich people to mobilize private security, black network hacking and surveillance, barely covering up the abnormal movement of the aura. The siren was faint in the night sky of the city, and the secular and ignorant people regarded it as the aftershock of the earthquake. The passage in the underground ruins is narrow and eerie, with spiritual energy vortexes cutting like blades. Jiang Chen's yuanying spiritual pressure protects his body and moves forward. Gu Han's sword energy opens the way. Fatty Li's fat body squeezes through, sweating like rain. "Master, the turbulent flow here is forbidden in ancient times, and there is gray below the golden elixir. The smoke is extinguished, our foundation is like ants." Suddenly, a shadow flashed in front, and Yi Ji's ghostly figure emerged. Her demonic eyes flickered and hesitated, and she secretly held the sound transmission bead in her jade hand, pretending to whisper, "Junior brotherly, Tianxian promises to help you with the golden elixir, the spirit stone plot." Fatty Li's fat face froze, and he roared, "Which? You actually?" Jiang Chen noticed early and sneered. The nascent soul's spiritual power was wrapped around like a chain. Yi Ji's delicate body shook, the skirt of her skirt was shattered, and her snowy muscles were exposed, and the golden elixir was overwhelmed. He knelt down and screamed, "Immortal Lord, spare your life. This servant has not rebelled, but is testing the old department." Gu Han flashed his sword, cut off the sound transmission bead, and his stern face twisted. "Which, you almost did something bad. The sect master's divine knowledge is all over the sky, and he can see through everything." The pursuit started, and the lurking shadows of Yi Ji's old men emerged. The swords of the 5 early-stage Golden Core assassins were like a net, and the spiritual energy and poisonous mist filled the passage. Fatty Li's fat body trembled, the foundation shield was shattered, and blood sprayed. Master, the poisonous mist entered the body, and the meridians were burned. In the past, working overtime in the company was hard, but now the immortal cultivator is almost alive. Gu Han's sword energy burst out, killing 2 people, but they were repelled by the poisonous palm. His black robe was stained with blood, and he gasped, "Sect Master, the enemy has the sky. Mysterious dark talisman, teleport to chase." Jiang Chen waved his sleeves, and the storage ring poured out thousands of top-grade spiritual stones. The blue-white light turned into a star shield to block the poison. He took advantage of the situation and shot it. The power of the nascent soul was like a mountain collapse, and the flesh and blood of the 5 assassins burst into mist. The remnant souls of Yi Ji's old subordinates wailed, "Tian Xian is wrong, Jiang Xianzuan Yuanying is invincible." The depths of the ruins were shaken, and everyone's hearts were even more depressed. The ancient forbidden city was awakened, ghosts on the stone wall were hitting their faces, and their spiritual pressure was like Mount Tai pressing on the top. Finally arriving at the core of the ruins, an ancient altar emerged. The divine weapon, Xianyang's sword embryo, was suspended in the air. The golden light was dazzling, and the sword's intention swept across like a tornado. Gu Han's eyes widened and his sword finger trembled, ancient divine weapon. Recognizing the master requires Yuanying blood sacrifice, Sect Master. Jiang Chen nodded, bit his fingertip, and the blood droplets of the Yuanyang spiritual fetus merged into it. The sword embryo buzzed and surged, but caused the ruins to collapse. Thousands of stone swords poured down like rain, and the passage collapsed like thunder. Fatty Li screamed in despair, "Master, the divine weapon is obtained, but the bones are buried here. The Hidden Immortal sect is dead, Tian Xian is joking." Shen Qingqing's purine power poured into Jiang Chen's body, and the true love of the 2 cultivators resonated. In the distant sky, a huge spiritual boat came through the clouds, and nascent soul's murderous intent surged like a tsunami. "Boy, prepare to die." The atmosphere in the hall was as silent as a tomb. Yi Ji's demonic face drooped, her spirit in the middle stage of the golden elixir was compressed into a ball, the aftershocks of the jade slip still lingered, her throat rolled, her voice trembled like a candle in the wind. "Immortal Lord, my old servants wanted to instigate Fatty Li, and joined forces with Xuantian's remaining party to present the Spirit Stone information, but Shen Yuanzi intercepted it. They shouted that they would not donate 500 million spirits within 3 days. Stone, all the sect blood sacrifices to the boat spirit." Rushing out of the ruins, Gu Han counted the newly obtained spiritual stones. 30,000 top-quality spiritual marrow came out with the sword embryo. His stern face twisted in a fervent manner, "Sect Master, the new wealth is more than 10% of the old. Hidden Immortals have no worries. The secular network has expanded to the whole city, and the news of cultivating immortals has been blocked. 300 cultivators have joined in, but the Xianling boat is approaching, and 2 days have passed." Outside the villa, the dark clouds became thicker, and Shen Yuanzi's smile echoed, "Jiang Chen, the time is approaching, do you want to offer the spirit stone?" At the exit of the ruins of Yunding Villa, the cold wind was like thousands of needles biting the bones, the cracks on the ground spread like spider webs, and blue aura seeped out of every crack, as if the gates of hell were quietly opening. The golden rainbow fell from the distant sky like a comet, and the divine pressure turned into an invisible giant hammer, smashing every stone brick in the villa. In the flying dust, the 300 newly joined casual cultivators fled with their heads in their arms. The meridians of the foundation builders reversed, and blood-red arrows spurted from their mouths, and they collapsed like defeated soldiers. Xiaoli screamed and curled up, and the man with glasses in the former company twitched his legs and murmured in despair, "Transforming into gods, the realm of transforming into gods." As soon as the Hidden Immortal sect started, it encountered a catastrophe. How can the Immortal Lord's Jiaoxi bloodline block this divine power? Fatty Li's fat body smashed to the ground, the poisonous wound has not healed. At this moment, the 5 internal organs are like twists, the fat face is pale and twisted, sweat and blood are flowing. Master, in the past, the boss of the company mocked me as a waste, but now I am a Zongan, but I see the god of transformation in person. It's all over, the dream of elixir is shattered. The golden rainbow solidified, and a middle-aged man in purple robes stood in the air. He had long hair and a childish face, with lightning flashing in his eyes. The realm of transformed spirits was like a galaxy overturning, covering a radius of 10 miles. The air solidified into frost blades, cutting everyone's skin and leaving bloodstains. He looked down with his hands behind his hands, and his voice was like the thunder of the 9 heavens, which shocked Zunyuanzi on the spirit boat to freeze. The 3 golden elixir protectors in grey robes hunted, and the hundreds of elite foundation builders all took a half step back. Fear flashed in their eyes. Super family head thunder, holy lord. Transforming into a god. During the period, he smashed the mountains and rivers with 1 finger, and it was rumored that he had killed 5 sects. Thunder Saint Lord echoed with a sinister smile. Jiang Chen, a nouveau riche, was lucky enough to get the spirit stone rats to run underground and build the foundation of the sect. How can he be worthy of the path to immortality? When the words fell, the spiritual realm was overwhelming. Gu Han's black robe shattered, the sword energy collapsed, and in the middle stage of foundation building, his spiritual power was like a candle in the wind. His knees hit the ground, blue veins popped out, and his stern face turned pale for the first time. Sect master, transformed into a god like the sky, and the nascent soul is like an ant. Shen Qingqing's delicate body trembled violently, the pure Yin shield shattered into light spots, the pulse of the spiritual seed in her lower abdomen was beating wildly, her snowy cheeks were bloodless, her beautiful eyes were shining with tears, and she held Jiang Chen's arms tightly. Husband, the spiritual seed is suppressed, and the murderous intention of the spirit has entered the body. Qingqing has no regrets about dual cultivation, and we only wish to die together. Yiji knelt on the ground with a contorted face. She was struggling with spiritual pressure in the middle stage of the golden elixir. She pinched the sound transmission bead secretly with her jade hands and caught a glimpse of the Holy Lord of Thunder. Greed and fanaticism flashed in her eyes, and she screamed and taunted, Jiang Xianzuan. Humph. The Jiaoxi became rich overnight, and the spiritual stone was just a fluke. The Tianxian spirit boat pressed down on the realm, and the thunder, the Holy Lord is here. Your billions of spiritual stones are nothing but ancient relics, with no foundation and no inheritance, and your sect is like a sand castle. I advise you to offer your spiritual stones to beg for mercy as soon as possible, otherwise the whole sect will be stained with blood. Her voice was trembling but sharp, and the remnant souls of the old army echoed in the aftermath of the passage, seeming to incite the rogue cultivators to rebel. Fatty Li's fat eyes widened when he heard this, and he roared angrily, Devil! You have failed in your test, and now you are selling me for glory. Master, how can you tolerate the power of the Master? Before he could finish his words, the aftermath of the transformation of the god was like a huge wave. Jiang Chen holds the Xianyang sword embryo, and the 9-inch 9-point nascent soul childlike shape pulses like a heart. It is calm on the surface, but inside it is like a turbulent sea. The ancient blood was quietly boiling, and the tremor of waking up from the ancient cave and counting billions of spiritual stones flashed through his mind. Jiaoxi's counterattack was clearly visible in his mind, the company's ridicule, boss's siege, Yiji's provocation, Jianchuan's pressure. Every desperate situation turned into spring breeze and rain, and now he has turned into a god to suppress him. How can he bow his head? Thunder ants, the gods can't reach the first level of the avenue. The spirit stones are infinite. I, Jiang Chen, am born with the ultimate realm of dual cultivation. How can I be afraid? He thought in a flash, scanning the storage ring with more than 500 million spirit stones and 30,000 top-grade spiritual essences. He instantly deduced the secret of the extreme realm of Shen Yin and Yang combination Ju. The spirit stone explosion formation can use the earth veins, and the sword embryo blood sacrifice detonates the power of the nascent soul. Join forces to clear the two cultivators, destroy the cronies of the gods, and then force Yi Zhizhen to surrender. Risks are like a knife hanging on one's neck. If you fail, you will fly away. But if you don't fight, the Yin sect will die, Shen Qingqing's spiritual seed will be cut off, and Gu Han brothers will die. Fight! I am the only one in the sky and on the earth. With determination, the coldness in his eyes erupted. Fatty Li's fat body trembled, and he stood up after wiping away the blood. His eyes turned from despair to fanaticism. Master, has a plan? Gu Han's sword pointed sharply, and he hunted in black robes. His stern face twisted in admiration. The sect master is wise and has unparalleled calculations. Jiang Chen waved his sleeves, and the storage ring poured out tens of thousands of top-quality spiritual stones. Blue and white light poured out like a galaxy, instantaneously transforming the underground formation. Earth vein spiritual energy poured in crazily. The Xianyang sword embryo in the formation's eyes buzzed and surged, and the sword's intention soared into the sky like a tornado. The Thunder Holy Lord's pupils shrank suddenly, and his spirit transformation domain condensed. Elixir formation. The nouveau riche's trick, smash it. The lightning on his fingertips condensed, turned into a 100-foot thunder spear, and blasted towards the center of the formation, but was counterattacked by the sword embryo's sword energy. The thunder light collapsed like fireworks. Two of his trusted disciples, two early nascent soul protectors, came from the air, hunting in gray robes, and the shadows of sinister thunder palms covered the sky. Master of the house, slaves, wait and punish them. Jiang Chen was immersed in his mind, and his blood was deducing the formation. Gu Han's sword energy was like a rainbow, and he teamed up with Fatty Li to build the foundation shield to block the aftermath of the thunder. Fatty Li's fat body was trembling wildly, sweating and blood flowing wildly, but he was laughing wildly. Master's formation, the power is unparalleled. The former company's nest, bang, it's worth it to fight to the death against the confidants of the god transformation. Shen Qingqing's purine power surged into Jiang Chen's dantian, and the spiritual seeds resonated like the harmony of the great avenues. Husband, Qingqing will use my spiritual seeds to help you, break through the transformation of gods, and master the path of immortality together. Her snowy cheeks are flushed, her beautiful eyes are as affectionate as the sea, she is at the peak of true love in her dual cultivation, her Yuanyin spiritual fetus and Yuanyang bloodline blend, and the spiritual energy of heaven and earth converges crazily. Jiang Chen roared, Qingqing, join together. The two figures overlapped, brilliance exploded, the barrier of nascent soul's transformation into God shattered, and the spiritual realm in the early stage of transformation spread out, like the boundless sea of stars pressing back against the Holy Lord of Thunder. Impossible. Holy Lord Thunder's withered eyes widened and his hair stood on end. He encountered resistance for the first time in the spirit transformation domain. The flesh and blood of his two trusted nascent soul guardians exploded, and their remaining souls wailed, Master. Jiang Chen cultivated the divine arts twice, used the spirit stone explosion formation, and transformed into a spirit. Gu Han's sword flashed and he killed the remaining enemies. His black robe was stained with blood but he laughed fervently, the sect master has transformed into a god. The 300 cultivators were dumbfounded, Xiaoyi's eyes were filled with tears and she screamed in admiration, from the Jiaoxi to the immortal. She turned into a god and defied the heavens in one night. Yi Zhi's demonic face turned pale, and her golden elixir spiritual pressure collapsed. She tried to escape, but was entangled by a large array of chains, and her skirt was shattered. She knelt down with trembling muscles, I have no intention of betraying you, Immortal Lord. The remaining members of the Tianxian party are willing to surrender and offer the spirit stone from the Yi family's secret treasury. Jiang Chen's eyes swept away, all her meridians were sealed, and all the information on the jade slip was revealed. The demon girl, I used to covet you, but now I surrender. If you dare to plot again, you will be wiped out. The great formation buzzed, the earth veins absorbed the remnants of thunder, 30,000 top-quality spiritual essences merged into the sword embryo, the Xianyang sword embryo soared 3 feet, and the golden light pierced the black clouds and pointed directly at the spirit boat. Zuanyuanzi's withered face twisted, the spirit boat's blood flashed wildly, the 3 golden elixir protectors spurted out blood, and the 100 elite foundation builders collapsed and retreated. Master, Jiang Chen transformed into a god, the spirit stone is endless, we. Thunder Holy Lord Leiyu retreated 100 feet, fear flashed in his eyes. I am lucky to have dual cultivation, I will come back when I am united. Jin Hong fled, the spirit boat fled in a hurry, and Tianquan's threat was temporarily relieved. Gu Han organized the army, his voice as cold as iron, the sect leader transformed into a god, and the hidden immortal expanded. 300 new cultivators and captives were brought into the war hall. Fatty Li took charge of the company, and Shen Qingqing stayed at the villa. With a fanatical twist in his eyes, he hunted in black robes and led the crowd to repair the formation, and the sect's momentum skyrocketed. Fatty Li wiped the blood and kowtowed, his fat face ecstatic. Master, my disciple has established a stable foundation, my former boss is now obeying orders, and the hidden immortal is at its peak. The jade slip of Lu Zhe's voice transmission shook wildly, and his fat body rushed to him. The high-end technological assistance in his hand, the invisible spiritual light shielding device buzzed and activated. Immortal dear Lord, the secular network has been expanded to the entire province, black and white plus satellite hacking, the whole city is blocked. The scientific and technological formations are integrated with spiritual stones, the hidden immortal base is like a ghost. His eyes are worshipful, the rich second-generation resources are all over the place, private planes are transporting elixirs, and the black network is blocking urban surveillance. Jiang Chen held the sword with his hands behind his back, restrained himself in the spirit realm, and scanned the crowd. The psychological game turned into overbearing confidence, in the realm of spirit transformation, the spiritual stone avenue, and the true love of 2 people, who dares to offend me? Shen Qingqing leaned against me, the soul pulse pulsing like the heartbeat of a couple, and whispered affectionately, Husband, our relationship is at its peak, and we will ascend together. Everyone. Kneeling on the ground, he shouted, the immortal is invincible. There was a sudden movement deep in the ruins. An ancient jade flew out and fell into Jiang Chen's palm. It was engraved with the rune of the key to ascension, and his blood resonated, the key to the ancient ascension. The passage to the immortal world. Gu Han's eyes widened, and his sword finger trembled. Sect Master, a divine object. The foundation stone of the hidden immortal's ascension. Jiang Chen held the Xianyang sword embryo, his nascent soul's spiritual pressure was hidden and silent, his eyes were scanning the sky with cold eyes. Shen Qingqing leaned against his side, Yi Ji knelt down and trembled, Fatty Li wiped the blood and kowtowed, the despair in the eyes of everyone in the sect was still there, and they were as depressed as a mountain. Suddenly, a golden rainbow broke through the sky in the distance, and the head of the super family came in person. The power of the transformed god was like the coming of a heavenly catastrophe, and his voice was like thousands of thunders roaring, My son of the hidden immortal sect, I will give you all the spiritual stones. I will not die. Otherwise, I will destroy the sect with a single thought. Black clouds poured down like ink, swallowing up the sky above Yunding Villa. The cold wind in the middle of the night turned into howling ghosts and wolves. The spiritual energy in a radius of 50 miles was violent, and the earth's veins trembled like a doomsday earthquake. 12 figures of the Alliance's nascent soul elders emerged, each wielding magic weapons. They were hunting with blood flags, gloomy bone towers, and fire wheels burning the sky. The pressure of the nascent soul was intertwined into a boundless killing net, crushing the knees of 300 new cultivators of the Ancient sect, and blood spurting from their mouths. Xiaoli from the former company screamed and held her head, her hair turned white. Alliance's general attack. Rumor has it that 12 nascent souls and the transformation god are coming in person. The Immortal Lord has just destroyed the transformation soul, and the sect has been established. No matter how many spirit stones there are, they can't stop this sect-killing trend. Fatty Li's fat body hit the ground, his foundation-building meridians flowed backwards like fire, his fat face twisted into a ghost, and sweat and blood flowed down. Master. In the past, I laughed at you. You loser, you are following Jiang now, but you see the whole city's alliance is suppressing the territory, and the afterimage of the Thunder Saint Lord is helping us. We are like ants waiting to be slaughtered. Gu Han's black robe shattered, and pale cracks appeared on his cold face for the first time. His sword energy fluttered like a candle under the killing net. He gritted his teeth and roared, Sect Master, the 12 nascent souls are united in the spiritual realm, one strike can destroy the peak of nascent soul, my foundation is like dust. Shen Qingqing's delicate body trembled, her pulse of pure spirit seed was beating wildly, her snowy cheeks were bloodless, her beautiful eyes were filled with tears, she held on to Jiang Chen's sleeve robe tightly. Husband, the alliance pledges to separate the spiritual stone, the Qingqing spirit seed feels murderous intention in the body. Two people who cultivate true love, would rather die than be apart. Yi Ji knelt down and turned pale. Her spiritual pressure collapsed in the middle stage of the golden elixir. She secretly pinched the secret sound transmission bead in her jade hands, and caught a glimpse of a familiar figure in the dark clouds of the alliance. The remnants of the old army had mixed in. Her eyes were filled with greed and fanaticism. My immortal, please spare my life first, I really surrender, but the spirit stone is worth billions, so why not take the opportunity to betray me? She thought, her skirt shattered and her muscles trembled, she screamed and pretended to surrender, but she secretly sent a message, everyone in the alliance, Jiang Chen's spirit stone is hidden in the storage ring, I will share it after breaking the formation. The family secret treasury has been donated. I am lucky to be a double cultivator. The sound transmission bead flashed, and the alliance's first nascent soul elder smiled and echoed, okay. Yi Yan will help you, and I will reward you with the peak golden elixir. Upon hearing this, the eyes of the cultivators collapsed with despair. Li burst into tears and screamed, Yi Ji is really a traitor. The master of the outer hall betrayed the sect, and the hidden immortal died. Fatty Li's fat eyes widened, and he roared at him, devil. You are in charge of the outer hall, the master trusts you, how dare you betray? However, he was knocked away by the aftermath of the killing net, and his fat body rolled and vomited blood 5 steps away. Jiang Chen stood with his hands behind his hands, his spirit realm as restrained as an abyss, his cold eyes swept over Yi Ji, and his bloodline deduction instantly detected the movement of the sound transmission bead, devil, the words of true surrender are like a dog barking, trying to betray, and become a slave. His heart was still, and Jiaoxi's counterattacks had gone through, company ridicule, boss siege, Yi Ji's provocation, Tian Xian suppressing the situation, the spirit retreating the enemy. Every desperate situation turned out to be a miracle, now the alliance is attacking, how can we be afraid? More than 500 million spirit stones in the storage ring are pulsing, the ancient jade key to ascension is buzzing, and the ancient blood is boiling to deduce the ultimate trump card, Xian Yin and Yang combination technique, extreme realm plus spirit stone explosion formation plus ancient cave phenomenon summoning, dual cultivation summons the earth vein ancient cave billions of spiritual energy to counterattack the alliance. One man fights 12 nascent souls alone. I am the only one in heaven and on earth, Lingshire Avenue, who dares to offend me? He was determined, his voice was as calm as water, but it penetrated the killing net. Yi Ji betrayed, abolished his golden elixir, and became an eternal slave. Gu Han, Fatty Li, and all the guardian disciples entered the battle. Lu Zhe, activated the technology shield, blocked the entire province. Qingqing, the two cultivators merged, and summoned the ancient cave together. Yi Ji's bewitching appearance suddenly changed, and before the sound transmission bead shattered, she screamed and tried to escape, Immortal Lord, forgive me. Jiang Chen flicked his fingertips, and the spiritual power was wrapped around like silk threads, straight into the dantian. The golden elixir burst into powder with a bang, her snow body convulsed and fell to the ground, her demonic eyes were round and bloodshot, and her mouth was full of blood. Her past ambitions were gone. Wang wailed, "The golden elixir is ruined. I'm a slave, I will always be a slave at the feet of the immortal Lord, sweeping the floor and burning corpses, begging for mercy." The crowd dispersed and stared. Xiaoli worshipped with a trembling voice, "The immortal Lord has divine calculations, Yi Yao's rebellion will be punished immediately, no one will slip through the net." Fatty Li wiped the blood and laughed wildly, "Master is wise. The enchantress has become a slave, the power of the company in the past is like my palm." Gu Han's sword flashed, and the guards entered the large formation, hunting in black robes, his stern face twisted and fervent. "The master's power is to build the foundation and protect the sect, it's worthy of death." Lu Zhe's fat body rushed over, the invisible spiritual light shielding device in his hand buzzed, and the high-tech light network merged with the spiritual stone array, instantly blocking the murderous intention for 50 miles. Star Hacker entered the Black Cloud surveillance, mobilized the black and white groups across the province, and private planes brought thousands of elixirs to assist the array. Immortal Lord, escort with technology. The intelligence shows that the Alliance's 12 Yuan Yings and 3 transformation gods are hidden. The shielding is complete and there is no leakage. His eyes were worshipped as if he were seeing a god. The rich second generation spent all their resources and made great contributions. The dark clouds of the Alliance were overwhelming, and the 12 nascent soul elders all laughed ferociously. Jiang Chen was lucky enough to become a god, Jiaoxi became rich, and gave up all his spiritual stones, otherwise the clan will be slaughtered. The afterimage of Thunder Holy Lord appeared, and Jin Hong smiled ferociously, "My son, Yi Yao's betrayal failed, and I am united. The body is about to come, let the Alliance test your strength first." The killing net suddenly fell, the blood flag turned into thousands of blood worms and bitten the bones, the bone tower rotted the flesh in the cold wind, the fire will burn the soul, the spiritual pressure of the nascent soul was like a landslide and a tsunami, smashing the stone bricks of the villa into powder, and the casual cultivators screamed repeatedly. Gu Han's sword energy collapsed, Fatty Li's shield was shattered and bloody, and everyone screamed in despair, "It's over. The Alliance is invincible, how can the immortal Lord stop the 12 nascent souls alone?" Shen Qingqing's beautiful eyes locked on Jiang Chen affectionately, and she whispered a confession, "Husband, from the cultivation of mutual benefit to the spiritual seed of true love, Qingqing has no regrets in this life, and is willing to fight for the immortal path with the Yuanyin spirit fetus." Her purine power poured into Jiang Chen's dantian, and the spiritual seeds resonated like the heartbeats of husband and wife. All eyes are open. Jiang Chen roared, waved his sleeves, and the storage ring poured out the remaining billions of spirit stones ***. The blue and white light explodes like the Milky Way, more than 500 million spiritual stones plus 30,000 top-quality spiritual essences are stacked like mountains, instantaneous ultimate spiritual stone array, the earth veins are absorbed crazily, and the ancient cave vision summons. Billions of spiritual energy in the ancient cave under the cloud top erupts like a volcano. The blue spiritual mist rises to the sky, turns into thousands of sword shadows, tornadoes, and thunder seas, backlashing. The Alliance's killing network. The Xianyang sword embryo skyrocketed 3 feet, merged into the spiritual marrow, buzzed and pierced the black clouds, and pointed directly at the 12 nascent souls. Public counting, billions of spiritual stones are here. You ants, coveting my wealth, fly away. The light of the spiritual stones shone in the audience, Fatty Li's fat eyes widened, his fat body trembled and roared, "Master, billions. The former master. See Wan, now see Lingshire Mountain, the hidden immortal is prosperous." Gu Han's sword finger trembled, his stern face burst into admiration, "The master is invincible. One man fights the Alliance on Lingshire Avenue, a miracle." 300 people knelt down and screamed, "From the loser to the king of Lingshire, the immortal lord is crushing the whole city." Fighting alone, Jiang Chen's figure shuttled through the spirit stone formation like a ghost, and the spirit realm spread out into the boundless sea of stars. With every palm shot, the flesh and blood of the elder nascent soul exploded, and the remaining soul wailed. The spirit stone explosion formation, the strange phenomenon in the ancient cave, the power of Jiang Chen's dual cultivation summoned the earth veins to backfire. We are wrong, he is not rich, he is the chosen one. Elder Blood Flag's chest was pierced, Elder Bone Tower's head was shattered, Elder Huoluan burned himself and exploded, destroying the 6 Yuanings in 3 seconds. The remaining elders of the 6 Yuaning retreated in the air, with fear in their eyes, unparalleled gods. Endless spiritual stones, the alliance is shattered. The afterimage of the Holy Lord of Thunder, with its crane hair standing on end, turned to fear, child's trump card, the billions of spiritual energy in the ancient cave. We will fight again on the day of union. The golden rainbow disintegrated and fled. Jiang Chen waved his sword finger, and the power of Shen Qingqing's purine merged, and the brilliance of the dual cultivation exploded. The ancient cave vision solidified thousands of spiritual dragons, swallowing the remaining enemies. The elder of the 4 Yuaniying knelt down and kowtowed, Immortal Lord, spare your life. May the immortal be surrendered, and the dream of dividing the spirit stone be shattered, only you are the master. The 2 Yuaniyings resisted the spirit dragon hard, and their blood exploded into dust. The whole place was silent, the spirit stone array buzzed to absorb the earth veins, the hidden immortal sect's momentum surged, conquering half of the alliance's forces. The 8 major, medium and small families were loyal, and the number of casual cultivators exceeded 1,000. Gu Han organized his army and laughed sternly, the sect leader fights alone, the hidden immortal hegemony and the urban immortal cultivator. The battle hall is expanded, and Yi Ji's servants sweep the corpses. Lu Zai's jammer was fully activated, and the intelligence jade slips shook wildly. Immortal Lord, the entire province is blocked from the internet, worldly ignorance, black and white surrender. Li Fati, the head of the company, was ecstatic. Master, my former boss is kneeling now, and the hidden immortal is like the sun. Shen Qingqing leaned closer, and her love confession echoed, husbands, we share the hegemony, and we ascend to the same path. Jiang Chen glanced with his hands behind his back, showing hegemony and confidence. In the city, the immortal is the only one who is supreme. The golden calamity cloud is like an eternal demon prison overturned. 9 purple gold thunder dragons occupy the sky, each scale flashes billions of electric arcs, tearing the night sky and turning into a rain of blood. The ground veins within 100 miles radius collapse, the ancient trees of Yunding Villa are burned to ashes, the knees of the newly descended 4th Yuaniying elders are smashed. The Yuaniying spirit body trembles like a candle in the wind, and the soul blood surges in the mouth. Heaven tribulation. The peak of the merged enemy shadow. The immortal Lord has just become a god. No matter how many spiritual stones there are, we can't stop the power of the Tao. We have just turned into ashes. The remnant soul of the old blood banner elder of the former alliance was possessed, his hair was scattered, and his eyes were twisted into ghosts. The ancient ultimate demon lord coveted the key to ascension, and the former Tianxian saint sect family leader was also afraid of it. Like a tiger, Jiang Chen got rich by luck. How can the Jiaoxi bloodline resist the demonic shadow of the calamity? Fatty Li's fat body hit the ground, his foundation-building meridians were like thousands of ants eating his heart, his fat face turned purple with sweat and blood, but Jin Zongqian, the former company boy, held his head and cried in despair, Master's divine power crushes the alliance, billions of spiritual stone mountains, I witness that the Jiaoxi defies the heavens, the calamity demon. With a single thought, the hegemony of the hidden immortal was wiped out, and my fat life was over. Gu Han hunted in black robes, the cracks on his stern face spread, and his sword energy buzzed like insects under the calamity cloud. He gritted his teeth to protect the crowd, and his voice trembled for the first time. Sect Master, the combined aura of the demonic shadow is pressing down on the spiritual realm. Shen Qingqing's cheeks turned pale, and her pulse of pure spiritual seed was beating wildly like a broken heart. She clung to Jiang Chen's arm, her beautiful eyes were filled with tears, and her delicate body was shaking violently. Husband, the golden thunder of the heavenly tribulation entered the body, and the spiritual seed sense was a murderous shadow. From mutual benefit and cultivation to the consummation of true love, I have no regrets. I would rather lose my soul, and go to the immortal road together. Yi Zhishua's body convulsed and she knelt down. Jean, the ruins of the elixir were covered in blood and flesh, her demonic eyes were round and bloodshot, her past ambitions were burnt and turned into despair and regret. She crawled to Jiang Chen's feet, tore the skirt of her skirt with her jade hands, exposing her snowy muscles, and kowtowed. Her voice was as hoarse as a ghost crying, "Immortal Lord." The slave betrayed the message and tried to separate the spiritual stone. It was wrong. The golden elixir exploded and it hurt my heart. I repented and pledged my allegiance. I will sweep away the corpse and burn it to ashes forever. Demon Shadow Love. Report: the ultimate enemy in ancient times is the Tianxian demon ancestor Canyon, who is at the peak of his integration and specializes in devouring the key to ascension. His weakness explodes in the pure yang of the spirit stone, which can backfire in his demonic realm. The Slave Yi family's secret code records, please don't give up. Upon hearing this, the eyes of the cultivators brightened, Xiaoli's hair turned white, and they worshipped with a trembling voice. Yi Yao regrets his betrayal in the past. No leaks. Lu Zhe's fat body rushed over, the invisible shield was overloaded, and the high-tech optical network was shattered. He was sweating like rain, and the rich second-generation eyes were filled with fear and enthusiasm. Immortal Lord, the entire province is on the verge of collapse, and the black and white are all over the place. The satellite surveillance demon is moving. The city is completely sealed, and there is no leakage, but the power of the heavenly tribulation is as great as paper. The shadow of the ultimate enemy from ancient times solidified, 100-foot-long demonic body appeared in the sky, the black-robed hunter howled like thousands of ghosts, the peak-integrated demonic realm spread out, billions of demonic insects devoured spiritual energy, the purple-gold thunder dragon surrendered and coiled around it, and the sound was like thunder roaring through the spiritual stone formation. Jiang Chen, my son. The Jiaoxi bloodline has become a god by luck, and the hidden immortal hegemony is no more than an ant nest. Will you hand over the ancient jade that is the key to ascension? Otherwise, the heavenly tribulation demonic thunder will unite and destroy Air Doji, and all the spiritual stones will return to the demonic realm. The remaining enemy cultivators of the alliance, the remnants of the ghost realm after the two nascent souls resisted the spirit dragon's blood explosion, revived and floated in the air, and counterattacked with a ferocious smile. Demo ancestor helps. Jiang Chen's spirit stone hides the ring and destroys his god transformation. The ghost realm's bloody light erupted, biting the hidden immortal cultivator, and everyone screamed in agony. The soul of the newly descended Yuanying elder collapsed, Gu Han's sword energy shattered and could not be protected, Fatty Li's shield was broken into pieces and his fat flesh was incinerated. Xiaoli screamed and held her head, the remnant enemy counterattacks. The demon shadow is invincible, the hidden immortal is dead. The whole place was filled with despair, the stone bricks of the villa turned to powder, and the earth veins wailed. Jiang Chen stood with his hands behind his hands, the realm of the spirit transformation was like an abyss, his cold eyes swept across the demonic shadow, and the Jiaoxi counterattack made his blood boil. The company mocked, the boss knelt down, Yizhi abandoned the elixir, the alliance's 12 nascent souls flew into ashes. Every desperate situation has a miracle, so how can you be afraid of the demonic shadow being robbed today? The spirit stone array in the storage ring kept buzzing, and the ancient jade heated up and deduced the trump card. All the spirit stones have been transformed. Yizhi's intelligence corroborated it, and the pure yang burst out to devour the demon realm. Qingqing, the two cultivators merged, and gave birth to spiritual offspring. Gu Han, count the final wealth, help me reach the top. Lu Zhe, the technology-assisted array seals the demon. Disciples, enter the spirit stone array, and watch me dominate. The voice was as calm as water, but it penetrated the demon realm, and everyone was shocked when they heard it. Fatty Li's fat eyes widened, he wiped the blood and roared, Master is not afraid of natural disasters. In the past, I laughed at the losers, but now I see the power of the gods, the hidden immortals are immortal. Gu Han's stern face cracked with enthusiasm, and he pointed his sword at Lingshi Mountain, sect master's order. Final count, with more than 500 million spirit stones plus 30,000 top-quality spiritual marrows plus ancient cave earth veins absorbed, the total wealth exceeds 800 million, and the transformation and cultivation will reach the peak of divine transformation. With a wave of his black robe, the spirit stones rotated like the Milky Way and merged into Jiang Chen's dantian, and the pure yang spiritual energy surged. Shen Qingqing's beautiful eyes locked affectionately, and the resonance of the pure Yin spirit seed was like the heartbeat of husband and wife. She whispered a perfect confession, "Husband, true love is here, the spirit seed will breed offspring, and the hegemony will rise together." Her delicate body melted into Jiang Chen's arms. Yin and Yang combination technique turns to the extreme again, the Yuan Yin spiritual fetus and the Yuan Yang spiritual fetus merge, giving birth to a golden elixir spiritual seed, the prototype of the offspring of dual cultivation, the inheritance of pure Yin and pure Yang. The realm of transformed spirits explodes like the sun and the moon, counterpressing the demon realm. Lu Zhe's intelligence jade slips shook wildly, the technology shield merged with the spirit stone, the invisible light network turned into a pure Yang barrier, blocking the city for hundreds of miles. The secular satellite screen went black, the lights in the whole city went out, the black and white people knelt down. Immortal Lord, technology assists the demon seal. The entire province is ignorant, hidden Xian Yongbao. Yizhi crawled and burned his body, tears of regret and blood flowed down his face, and he offered the jade slip of the Yi family's secret book. The demon ancestor's weakness, the pure Yang spirit stone exploded his demon core. The newly descended Siyuaning elder kowtowed to death. No matter how powerful the demon shadow is, the hidden immortal will not be defeated. Lingshi Avenue, all transformed. Jiang Chen roared, the Xianyang sword embryo surged 3 feet and merged into the spiritual marrow, the sword pointed at the sky, the ancient jade's key to ascension buzzed with blood resonance, 800 million spirit stone wealth poured out like a volcano, instantaneously transforming the pure Yang spiritual sea. The Dantian Yuanyang spirit embryo skyrocketed 10 feet, reaching the peak in the early stage of divine transformation. The great formation of spirit stones is turning, hundreds of millions of spiritual energies in the ancient cave are attacking the demon realm, thousands of spirit dragons are roaring into the sky, and the purple gold thunder dragon has surrendered and turned against the demon-eating insects. The demonic figure's crane hair stood upright, and the eyes of the merged peak were twisted with fear. Child, the spirit stone transforms into the peak of the god. The double cultivation of spiritual seeds, the pure Yang avenue backfires on the demon realm. He grabbed it with his big hand, but was incinerated with black blood by the pure Yang barrier. The flesh and blood of the remaining enemy cultivators in the ghost realm exploded. The elder nascent soul wailed, the demon ancestor retreats. Jiang Chen is invincible, the spirit stone is ever prosperous, we are wrong, coveting the rich loser, the demon king was chosen by heaven. Gu Han's sword energy was reborn, and he laughed sternly to protect the crowd, the master's transformation into a god has reappeared. The fighting hall has expanded, and the remaining enemies have been reorganized. Fatty Li shouted in ecstasy, Master, the boss of the company knelt down, and the hidden immortal hegemony was consolidated. Fighting the demonic shadow alone, Jiang Chen's ghostly figure shuttles through the pure Yang spirit sea. With every palm shot, the demonic insects fly away, the purple gold thunder dragon explodes, and the sword embryo pierces the demonic realm and goes straight into the demonic core. The body of the demonic shadow was cracked, and black blood was like a river. It's impossible. The ancient demon ancestors' residual thoughts, at the peak of integration, were actually backbitten by the pure Yang of the spirit stone. Jiang Chen, you are not a fluke, you are the master of the ascension. It regretted and twisted, the aura of the integration collapsed, and escaped into the golden calamity cloud, but it left a decisive blow, the demonic core exploded, billions of magic thunder poured out, and the earth veins collapsed half of the villa. Shen Qingqing's spiritual seed protects the body, and the brilliance of his dual cultivation resolves the magic thunder. He whispers in love, Husband, the spiritual seed of the future generations is safe, and we can resist the annihilation together. Gu Han, Lu Zhe, and Fatty Li all roared to protect the formation. Thousands of cultivators scattered and knelt down. The immortal lord is incomparable. The demonic shadow is defeated, and the hidden immortal Yongzuan. In the distant sky, black clouds gathered, and the alliance of cultivating forces in the city surged. The Yuanying elders roared in unison. Jiang Chen turned into a god by luck, and joined forces to destroy the hidden immortals, and the spirit stones were divided equally. The afterimage of Thunder Saint Lord appeared, and he smiled ferociously. My son, in the decisive battle at Yunding, will Erzong be destroyed? The skies suddenly cracked, golden calamity clouds gathered, the ancient jade key to ascension heated up violently, and the blood resonated like celestial music. The calamity came, the shadow of the ultimate ancient enemy emerged, and the aura of the peak of the body pressed down on the realm. Jiang Chen, do you want to hand over the key to the ascension of the spirit stone? With a wave of Jiang Chen's sword, the pure yang spiritual sea swallowed the magic thunder, the clouds of heavenly calamity slowly dispersed, the ancient jade's key to ascension flourished, the bloodline deduced a new opportunity, the hidden immortal sect's hegemony was consolidated, the 8 small and medium-sized families plus the 4 Yuanyings plus the scattered cultivators exceeded 1,000. Yi Ji repented and swept away the corpses to show loyalty, and the remaining enemy cultivators were wiped out. He put his hands behind his hands and scanned the audience, his domineering confidence echoed, I am the only one who can cultivate immortality in the city. The catastrophe has been overcome, and my ascension is in sight. The devil's palm was like an eternity of darkness overturning, the combined peak demon energy condensed into a 1,000-foot giant claw, the demon core in the claw pulsed with black light, swallowing the edge of the pure yang spiritual sea. The remaining walls of Yunding Villa instantly turned into dust, the earth's veins wailed and shattered into a 100-foot abyss. The soul of the newly descended 4th Yuanying elder was shattered again, the broken body knelt on the ground, soul blood spurted out, and the crane-haired old face twisted into a ghost, his voice trembled like a candle in the wind, demon ancestors' residual thoughts kill. So what if the immortal lord's peak spiritual stone transforms? With a single blow from the combined devil's palm, the hidden immortal sect is wiped out. Once we surrender, we will become devil's food. Fatty Li's fat body was smashed down again, his foundation building meridians burned like a sea of fire, his fat face turned the color of pig's liver, and sweat and blood flowed to the ground, howling. Crying, Master's mighty power to fight against the calamity alone, Jiaoxi's counterattack legend. I have witnessed it. The devil's palm is on top, and billions of spiritual stones are collapsing. I, a young man in the company, have lost my life. I regret that I knelt down earlier. Gu Han's black robe was nearly shattered, and the cracks on his stern face reappeared. The sword energy squirmed like a bug under the devil's palm. He protected the stragglers, and for the first time his voice carried a tone of despair. Yeah, Sect Master, the magic core kills the spirit realm. I am at the peak of my foundation building. There is nothing left after the transformation of 800 million spirit stones. The hidden immortal hegemony is dead. Shen Qingqing's snow cheeks were ashen, and the pure Yin spirit seed was in severe pain like a broken heart. She clenched Jiang Chen's arms, her beautiful eyes were filled with tears, and her delicate body spasmed to protect the golden elixir spirit seed in her belly. Husband, the devil's palm devours the spirit seed, the true love between two people is complete, and the prototype of the offspring is not guaranteed. Qingqing would rather die together. Fei, don't throw away the key to the ascension. Yi Jishue's flesh and blood squirmed, and the ruins of the golden elixir pierced her bones. She crawled and kowtowed, her demonic eyes were bloodshot and twisted with regret, her jade hands tore apart only her skirt, and she cried hoarsely, Immortal Lord. The slave Yi family's secret code is wrong, and demon ancestor Canyon gathered the remnants of the attack. The demonic palm contains the 3 souls of the ghost realm nascent soul. The pure yang backlash requires all the spirit stone relics to be destroyed in order to destroy the demonic core. I will regret it and burn my body for eternity. Lu Zhe's fat body staggered over, the invisible shield exploded with sparks, and the high-tech optical network melted under the demonic palm, and he was sweating like rain. Fear and fanaticism intertwined in the eyes of the rich second-generation, immortal lord. The whole province's blockade has collapsed. The satellite screen is black and the city lights are turned off. The black and white groups kneel down in ignorance, but the devil's domain has infiltrated technology, and the remnant ghost cultivators have gathered outside the mountain. A sneak attack is imminent. I have spent all my wealth, but I am unable to support the formation. The demonic shadow's remnants of thoughts and its crane hair danced wildly, and the laughter at the peak of the combined body was like a thunder roaring through the spiritual realm. Jiang Chen, my son. The Jiaoxi bloodline was lucky enough to survive the disaster, and the spiritual stone was transformed into the peak of the god of transformation, but it was nothing more than an ant. The remnant party gathered, the 3 Yuanying ghost cultivators plus thousands of demonic insects. I will kill you in the palm of my hand, hand over the key to ascension, otherwise the urban cultivators will be wiped out. The ghost realm in the devil's palm exploded, and 3 Yuanying ghost shadows came out, the remnant soul of the alliance's blood flag resurrected, and the ghostly face attacked the casual cultivators like a black tide. Thousands of demonic insects poured into the villa like a black tide, devouring spiritual energy and burning flesh and blood. The souls of the new elders were scattered, Fatty Li's shield was shattered and his fat flesh peeled off, Gu Han's sword energy collapsed and he could not protect him. Jiang Chen stood with his hands behind his back, his eyes were as deep as the abyss at the peak of his divine transformation, and his bloodline was calm and boiling during the Jiaoxi counterattack. The company boss knelt down, Yizhi abandoned the pill, the alliance flew into ashes, the tribulation demonic shadow was repulsed. Every desperate situation is a trap, and today the devil's palm will kill, preset in advance. The storage ring buzzed, the bloodline of the ancient Jade's ascension key was deduced, and Yizhi's intelligence proved, the demon ancestor's weakness, the spiritual stone relics all exploded and devoured the demon core. Everyone listens to the order. Qingqing protects the sect's spiritual seeds, Gu Han counts the remaining relics and transforms, Lu Zhe technology sealed the ghost realm, Yizhi presented the secret code to lure the demonic insects into the formation, and Fatty Li escorted the disciples into the formation. The Hidden Immortal sect crushed the remnant party and dominated the city. The voice was as calm as water, but it was like a pure yang sword piercing the devil's palm, and everyone's hearts trembled when they heard it. Fatty Li's fat eyes bulged, he wiped the blood and roared as he got up, Master has set up a trap. In the past, the loser in the company was ridiculed by me, but now God's calculation is correct, Fat Brother will protect the sect to the death. Gu Han's face was full of enthusiasm, and he waved his black robe, Secretary Master's magic machine. Final count, spirits. The stone relics are all gone, and the remaining 30% of the 800 million pure yang spirit sea plus the ancient cave earth veins have absorbed thousands of spiritual marrows, all transformed into cultivation. With a stroke of his sword, the spiritual stones poured out like a galaxy and merged into Jiang Chen's dantian. The Yuanyang spiritual fetus grew another 3 feet, and the peak of perfect divine transformation was completed. Shen Qingqing's beautiful eyes were locked affectionately, and the pure Yin spirit seed resonated firmly. Her delicate body flashed through the Xianin light curtain, guarding the core of the villa. Husband, I really love and protect the spirit seed. The power of dual cultivation can resolve hidden dangers, and we can soar together. Xian Yin Yang combination Ju, the extreme state turned slightly, the pure Yin spirit embryo protected the prototype of the golden elixir offspring, and rebounded the black tide of demonic insects. Seeing this, the rogue cultivator Pa Qian knelt down and worshipped and shouted wildly, Madam, the power. The spiritual seed is immortal, the hidden immortal will last forever. Lu Zhe's intelligence jade slip was shaking wildly, and the technology was pure yang. The barrier was reorganized and merged with the soul remnant stone, and the invisible light network turned into an electromagnetic ghost prison, sealing off the surroundings of the devil's palm. The city lights in the entire province turned on again, and black and white whispered, the immortal master's technological auxiliary array, the devil has no way out. Yizhi crawled and burned the devil insects, with tears of regret and blood, she presented the jade slips of the Yi family's secret code, Immortal Lord, the complete record of the secret code. The demonic insects entered the formation and exploded, causing the demonic core to bite back. Her snow body was reorganized with flesh and blood, and slave fanaticism broke out in the ruins of the golden elixir, attracting the 3 yuan infant ghosts to cultivate into the spiritual stone formation. Explode all the spiritual stone relics. Jiang Chen roared, the Xianyang sword embryo soared 5 feet and merged into the spiritual marrow. The sword pointed at the devil's palm, and the brilliance of the ancient jade's ascension key burst into the bloodline avenue. The remaining 30% of the pure yang spirit sea spewed out like a volcano, instantly turning into a pure yang sword river and piercing the devil core. The great formation turned around, the ancient cave's billions of auras backfired in the ghost realm, thousands of spirit dragons roared and swallowed the demonic insects, and the 3 yuaning ghost cultivators grimaced, twisted and screamed, demon ancestor trap. Jiang Chen presets the pure yang jinha, Jiaoxi immortal master divine calculation, we and other remnants will fly into ashes. The ghost shadow exploded with blood, the demonic insect burned itself into ashes, the devil's palm cracked and black blood surged, the demonic shadow's crimson hair stood on end, fear collapsed in its eyes at the peak of its integration, impossible, all the spirit stone relics exploded and devoured the demonic core. Dual cultivating spiritual species to protect the sect, the hidden immortals joined forces, and by chance, the rich boy turned into a god perfectly. Its demonic body collapsed, residual thoughts escaped into the calamity cloud, and the killer palm turned into black smoke and dissipated. Gu Han's sword energy was reborn, and he took stock of the battlefield with a stern laugh. The sect leader crushed the remnants. All the spirit stone treasures were used up, the cultivation reached the peak of divine transformation, the hidden immortal sect's casual cultivators exceeded 1,200, the 8 major, medium and small families all pledged their allegiance, the souls of the elders of the 4 Yuanyings were reunited, and the new ghost cultivators all the information was gathered. He was hunting in black robes, and the battle hall expansion order was issued, and the casual cultivator shouted in ecstasy, the deputy sect master has set a trap, and the remaining party has been eliminated overnight, and his dominance has been strengthened. Fatty Li kowtowed in ecstasy, Master, the company is invincible. Ri Jiaoxi, the emperor of the current urban immortals, I witnessed the counterattack legend, the hidden immortal is immortal. Xiaoli burst into tears and knelt down, from the dead souls of the alliance to the hidden immortal disciples, I am the only immortal, I salute you. Lu Zhe sweated and said enthusiastically, Immortal, the technological barrier is stable, there is no one in the province. The world's black and white rumors of miracles coming from the sky, the undercurrent of Jiaoxi's counterattack story, the city is whispering Jiang Chen's name. Yi Zhixuan knelt on her knees and burned her body to ashes, I will be loyal to the demon ancestor forever, and the hidden dangers will be eliminated. Shen Qingqing snuggled into Jiang Chen's arms, the warmth of her double cultivation eliminated the hidden dangers of residual demons, and the pulse of the spiritual seed inherited from the pure yin and pure yang avenue was steady. She whispered in a perfect voice, Husband, the spiritual stone is perfected with all your cultivation, and the prototype of the offspring of the dual cultivation has begun to take shape. True love protects the sect together. The hidden immortal in the city, I am the only one who dominates. Jiang Chen glanced at the ruins with his hands behind his back. The spiritual realm at the peak of his transformation was like the sun and the moon. He recalled the ridicule of the company, the kneeling disciples of his boss, the rich second-generation ally, and the true love of the female cultivator. The difference was so bad that everyone worshipped them with eyes like stars, Immortal Lord, a former office worker who became a billionaire overnight. He counterattacked the whole place and established the hegemony of the hidden immortal. The legend will last forever, and the immortal cultivator in the city is the only one. The casual cultivators roared together, and the ruins of the villa were revealed. The aura was reborn, Gu Han led the reconstruction, Lu Zhe expanded the intelligence network, Yi Ji swept corpses and offered treasures, Fatty Li protected the law and practiced casually, Shen Qingqing took charge of internal affairs, all trivial matters were in order, the sense of accomplishment filled the air like a tide, and the Ancient sect became famous throughout the city. The calamity clouds are like the black curtain of doomsday, and 99 and 81 calamity-transmitting fairy thunders are entrenched in the sky. Each thunder beam is as thick as a mountain. The thunder heart breeds a purple-gold electric dragon. The combined demon shadow and its crane hair dance wildly and occupy the center. The bloody light of the demon eyes penetrates the spiritual realm and swallows up the remaining aura of Yunding Villa. The abyss with broken earth veins expands again by hundreds of feet. Thousands of rubbles fall like meteorites. The souls of the newly loyal 4 Yuaning elders have just reunited, that is, twisted into a ghost by the thunder. The old man with white hair turned as red as blood, and his voice trembled like a candle in the wind. 9th Heavenly Tribulation. The Immortal Lord is perfect at his peak. How can he stop the demon ancestor from coming in person? 800 million spirit stones exploded and devoured the demonic core, and the Ancient sect's strong hegemony was wiped out. We are waiting for the new surrender of the soul, regret it. Fatty Li's fat body was smashed down again, the foundation meridians were burning like fire, and the fat face was pig liver. His face was distorted, sweat and blood flowed to the ground, and he howled, Master's divine calculation has preset the trap of the devil's palm. I have witnessed the whole process of the Jiaoxi's counterattack. The sea of thunder is overwhelming, and billions of spiritual stones have collapsed, leaving nothing behind. The fat life of the company boy in the past is now ashes. Gu Han's black robe hunting was nearly shattered, his stern face was covered with cracks, and his sword energy squirmed like ants under the thunder. He protected thousands of casual cultivators, and his voice sounded desperate for the first time. Dumb, Sect Master, 99 Immortals Thunderlock Spirit Realm, I am at the peak of my foundation building and unable to protect the law. After all the spiritual stone relics are transformed, there is nothing left. The Hidden Immortal Hegemony. One strike from the heavenly tribulation demonic shadow, and I am dead. Shen Qingqing's cheeks were ashen, and the pure Yin spirit seed was in severe pain like thousands of needles piercing her heart. She clenched Jiang Chen's arm, her beautiful eyes were filled with tears, and her delicate body spasmed to protect the prototype of the offspring of the golden elixir spirit seed in her belly. Husband, the 9th level of thunder tribulation devouring the spirit seed, the two people have perfected true love, and together we have built the inheritance of pure Yin and pure Yang, and the offspring have been born. No guarantee. Qingqing would rather die and join together to resist the catastrophe. Yi Zhishue's flesh and blood squirmed again, the ruins of the golden elixir were painful to the bone, she crawled and kowtowed, her demonic eyes were bloodshot and twisted with regret, her jade hands tore the skirt with blood, and she cried hoarsely, Immortal Lord. All the secret records of the demon ancestors' thunder tribulation are hidden there. The 3 souls and 7 souls are resurrected to devour the pure sun. The 9th level of heavenly tribulation requires dual cultivation of the extreme realm to destroy the demonic shadow. The slave regrets and burns the soul forever to atone. Lu Zhe's fat body staggered, the invisible shield exploded with sparks again, and the high-tech light network melted into iron juice under the thunder. He was sweating like rain. Next, the eyes of the rich second generation intertwined with fear and fanaticism. Immortal Lord, the whole province's blockade collapsed. The satellite black screen city was wiped out, and the black and white were kneeling in ignorance, but the thunder tribulation demon realm infiltrated technology, and the remaining ghost cultivator intelligence showed that the demon ancestor was coming in person, and the 9-layer immortal thunder destroyed the world. I have spent all my wealth, and the world is powerless to protect it forever. The combined demonic shadow's crane hair stood on end, and its laughter was like the roar of thunder in the 9 heavens that penetrated the spiritual realm. Jiang Chen, my son. The Jiaoxi bloodline was lucky enough to pass through the devil's palm, and the spiritual stone was completely transformed to reach the peak of divine transformation, but it was nothing more than an ant. I personally came to the thunder tribulation, the 99 immortal thunder merged into the demonic realm, 3 souls were resurrected plus hundreds of millions of thunder insects. Hand over the key to ascension, otherwise the urban cultivators will be wiped out, and the hidden immortal sect's billions of souls will be wiped out. The legend of the stone has become a laughingstock. The first level of thunder tribulation exploded, and the purple-gold electric dragon pierced the heart like 1,000 swords, gnawing straight at the edge of the pure yang spiritual sea. The ruins of the Yunding mountain villa turned into ashes, and the earth veins wailed and shattered thousands of feet away. The scattered cultivators screamed to the sky, the first level of thunder tribulation. The demon ancestor is invincible, the hidden immortal is dead. The whole place was swallowed up by despair like a black tide, and the thunder was overwhelming, and everyone knelt down and gushed out their soul blood. Jiang Chen stood with his hands behind his back, his eyes at the peak of his perfect transformation were like the scorching sun. Jiaoxi's counterattack bloodline was calm and boiling, the company boss kneeled as a disciple, Yizhi abandoned the pill and surrendered, the alliance flew into ashes, the demonic shadow of the heavenly tribulation was preset. Every desperate situation is an opportunity, today's 9th level of thunder tribulation, early bloodline deduction. The storage ring buzzed, the key to the ascension of the ancient jade was extremely hot, and the remaining spiritual marrow of the ancient cave earth pulsed. Yizhi's intelligence confirmed, the weakness of the thunder calamity of the demon ancestor, the double cultivation extreme realm backfired the thunder core. Everyone listens to the order. Qingqing merges with the dual cultivation to survive together, Gu Han counts the sect's spiritual stone inheritance, Lu Zai's science and technology sealed the thunder domain, Yizhi presented the secret code to lure the thunder insects into the tribulation formation, and Fatty Li escorted San Xiu into the protective sect formation. The hidden immortal sect resisted the heavenly tribulation and ascended to the immortal world. The voice was as calm as an ancient well, but like the pure yang Jianhe piercing the first level of thunder tribulation, everyone's hearts trembled when they heard it. Fatty Li's fat eyes bulged, he wiped the blood and roared as he got up, Master, God. In the past, I was ridiculed by the losers in the company. Today, I have set up a trap for the catastrophe. Fat brother will protect the law to the death. Gu Han's face was full of enthusiasm, and he waved his black robe, the sect master is invincible. Sect inventory, the complete record of the 800 million spiritual stone inheritance jade slips, hundreds of millions of pure yang Dao methods plus thousands of projections of ancient cave earth veins will be passed on to future generations forever. With a stroke of his sword, the shadows of spiritual stones poured into the sect's formation. Seeing this, the casual cultivators knelt down and shouted, Vice Sect Master, please count the inheritance of billions of spiritual stones in public. Shen Qingqing's beautiful eyes were locked affectionately, and the pure Yin spirit species resonated. Her delicate body melted into Jiang Chen's arms. The Xian Yin and Yang combination technique completely turned to the extreme. The pure Yin spirit fetus and the Yuan Yang spirit fetus merged 13 feet apart. The pure Yang and pure Yin avenues shined like the sun and the moon, rebounding the black tide of thunder bugs, husband, true love merges. The power of cultivation passed through the 9 levels together, and the spiritual seed descendants protected the body. The light of the dual cultivation skyrocketed, and the mysterious Yin and Yang combined light curtain protected the core of the villa. The purple-gold electric dragon of the first level of thunder tribulation hit the light curtain and shattered into lightning rain. The casual cultivator broke through Qianjianshan and shouted, Madam, the divine power of the dual cultivation realm. The immortal immortality of the hidden immortal. The jade slip of Lu Zai's information shook wildly. The pure sun barrier of science and technology was reorganized and merged with the spiritual stone projection. The invisible light network turned into an electromagnetic thunder prison, sealing off the surroundings of the calamity cloud. The city lights in the whole province turned on again, and black and white whispered, the immortal master dual cultivation technology auxiliary formation, the thunder field has no way, Jiaoxi counterattacks the calamity legend. Strange. Yizhi crawled and burned the thunder worms, and offered the complete record of the Yi family's secret scriptures with tears of regret, Immortal Lord, the secret scriptures are all recorded. The thunder worms entered the calamity formation and exploded, attracting the demonic shadow thunder core to backfire. Her flesh and blood reorganized in the ruins of the golden elixir, and she completely surrendered, attracting the three-souled thunder shadows into the formation. Dual cultivation extreme realm, counterattack with all your strength. Jiang Chen roared, the Xianyang sword embryo soared 10 feet and merged into the spiritual marrow, the sword pointed at the calamity cloud, the brilliance of the ancient jade's key to ascension exploded into the bloodline avenue, and the pure yang spiritual sea at the peak of perfect God transformation erupted like a volcano, instantaneously transforming the pure yang sword sea, and piercing the thunder core. The great formation turned around, the ancient cave's billions of spiritual energy projections backfired in the thunder field, thousands of spirit dragons roared and swallowed thunderworms, and the three-souled thunder shadow twisted and howled, demon ancestor trap. Jiang Chen's dual cultivation of the pure yang sword sea, the divine calculation of the Jiaoxi immortal master, the thunder souls we are waiting for are turned into ashes. The thunder shadow exploded with blood, the thunder bug burned itself to ashes, the calamity cloud cracked and purple blood surged wildly, the combined demon shadow's crane hair stood on end, and the demon eyes collapsed with fear. Impossible, the double cultivation extreme realm counterattacked the thunder core. The spiritual stone inheritance protects the sect, the hidden immortals join forces, and the kid who got rich by luck actually resists the 9th level. The second level of thunder catastrophe broke out, and the sea of silver and blue thunder overturned. Jiang Chen and Shen Qingqing combined their dual cultivations with brilliance like the immortal divine yang. The pure yin and pure yang avenue rotated. The sea of swords swallowed the thunder. Gu Han's sword energy protected the formation and laughed coldly, the second level of shattering. The dual cultivations of the sect master are invincible. Fatty Li's fat shield reorganized and roared to protect the loose cultivators, Master Tian Tribulation Toy. The third level, the fourth level, until the 9th level, the 99 immortal thunders dissipated in the lightning rain, the demonic shadow demon body collapsed and black blood spurted out, and the residual ghost cried and escaped into the void. Jiang Chen, ascended to the immortal world, I will fight again in the immortal world. The calamity cloud collapsed, the golden ascension channel opened in the sky, and the pure sun immortal light poured out. Gu Han's sword energy was reborn, and he took stock of the battlefield with a cold laugh. The sect leader crushed the heavenly calamity. Billions of spiritual stones passed down the jade slips and were distributed to the entire sect. The number of casual cultivators exceeded 1,500, the 8 major, medium and small families were loyal forever, the souls of the elders of the 4 nascent souls were completed, and all the information about the newly descended ghost cultivators entered the battle hall. He hunted in black robes, and the battle hall expansion order was issued, and the casual cultivators exclaimed in ecstasy, Commander, the deputy sect leader. The immortal master publicly counted the spiritual stone methods, and he rose through the catastrophe overnight, and his dominance was forever. Fatty Li kowtowed in ecstasy, Master, the company is invincible. A loser who became rich overnight and made billions of spiritual stones to counteract the catastrophe. I witnessed the legend that the hidden immortal was in peace and prosperity. Xiaoli burst into tears and knelt down, from the dead souls of the alliance to the hidden immortal elite, I am the most powerful one. I salute you. Lu Zhe sweated and said enthusiastically, Immortal Lord, the technology barrier will last forever. Solid, the world's secular world will forever protect the hidden immortal, the story of Jiaoxi's counterattack will be passed down forever, and the city will whisper about the immortal Emperor Jiang Chen. Yi Zhixue knelt on her knees, repented and burned the ashes of her soul and surrendered completely, I will protect the clan forever. The Yi family's secret book will be wiped out. Shen Qingqing snuggled into Jiang Chen's arms, her dual cultivation of brilliance and warmth resolved the hidden dangers of thunder and calamity, and the pure yin and pure yang path passed down the spiritual seed's descendants. She whispered perfectly, Husband, the heavenly tribulation is accomplished, the dual cultivation of the descendants' path is complete, and true love flies to the fairyland together. The hidden immortal in the city, I am the only legend. Jiang Chen glanced at everyone with his hands behind his back. The spiritual realm of the perfect God was like the sun and the moon, the Jiaoxi bloodline recalled the ridicule of the company, the kneeling disciple of the boss, the eternal protector of the second generation of the rich, the true love of the female cultivator, Yi Zhi's slave, The status was reversed. The difference was so bad that everyone admired their eyes like stars. The Immortal Lord, a former loser office worker, became rich overnight with billions of spiritual stones, counterattacked the entire crowd, and established the eternal hegemony of the Hidden Immortal. Legend spreads that the urban immortal cultivator was in a peaceful and prosperous age. The casual cultivators roared together, and the ruins of the villa were revealed. The aura was reborn, Gu Han led the reconstruction, Lu Zhe expanded the secular intelligence network, Yi Ji swept corpses and offered treasures, Fatty Li protected the law and practiced casually, Shen Qingqing took charge of internal affairs. Everything was in order, the sense of accomplishment filled the air like a tide, and the Yin sect became famous throughout the city. The residual thoughts of the demonic shadow revived from the clouds, and the magic palm of the peak of the body was shot with a decisive blow. The key to ascension is finally mine. Jiang Chen, suffer death. The key to the ascension of the ancient jade suddenly became hot, and a new opportunity emerged for the bloodline deduction. Jiang Chen's eyes were cold. The catastrophe has broken out in full force, the ultimate showdown, come on. The calamity clouds condensed again, and 99 and 81 calamity-transmitting immortal thunders occupied the sky. The fused demonic shadow loomed in the thunder to take revenge. Jiang Chen, I am here in person for the battle of ascension. The golden light of the ancient jade's ascension flourished, and the bloodline deduced a new opportunity for the immortal world. Jiang Chen and Shen Qingqing stepped into the golden passage, and the pure young immortal body stood in the void. In the immortal world, the legend of the hidden immortal is revived. Shen Qingqing smiled sweetly and leaned forward, husband, let's go on the path to immortality together. The passage was closed, and the urban immortal world welcomed peace. Gu Han looked at the sky with his hands behind his hands and smiled sternly. The master ascended, the hidden immortal will live forever. At the edge of the fairy world, the shadow of the ancient fairy palace loomed, and a fused demonic figure emerged with a ferocious smile. Jiang Chen, in the fairy world and the devil's realm, I am waiting for you.